never liked blood, even my own blood.
Can you handle red paint?
No.
Ketchup?
Yes.
Okay.
It's almost like a phobia, dude. Academic performance in this country is part of your identity. One of the conversations I've been having with my age mates is we need to normalize therapy for these kids. These kids who are top performers, and then suddenly they're put in this panel where not putting effort or putting effort has no difference. It's become a meme where huyu mwenye alikuwa na somanga mingi nini ameenda university amerudi tunamuona tu hapa. Mwalimu is no longer a word of veneration.
I'm not sure if it's something to be proud of anymore.
I'm not a huge fan of awards, dude, but I've realized that in Kenya, it gets you into the spaces where you can now be efficient.
I've brought some props here with me, and I want us to use them to illustrate this. Here with me, I have these two spheres here, and I want you to sort of use them to illustrate to me the difference between nuclear fusion and nuclear fission. And I want us to use this glass of water to illustrate how then we create electricity from nuclear energy. Let me try aim this water into this glass.
So literally, what nuclear engineers do is just to boil water on a sauna. You've triggered my autism. Now I have to tell you everything.
Yes.
This time I'm talking to you here. I could be making millions. I'm very rich. I killed my brother.
Really? Hey, I think this episode will bring some value to you. If you haven't yet, please do subscribe. It is completely free, and it directly supports more content like this. Omondi Agar.
Yes.
Miguna uses his traditional names. I don't know if he has an English or Muslim name.
Probably. But I've never, I read his book, Peeling Back the Mask.
What do you think?
You know me, I like, it's called when you're pillaring someone, and that's a word I learned from him.
What is pillaring?
Like pillory. I think it's one of those medieval torture techniques. Yeah. But then, there's a time he was very abrasive. He would publish articles on the Star. Yeah. I absolutely love them because they were pillaring guys. When he was writing his book, he talked about how in high school he only used his Christian name. But I think when you travel out, you really tend to appreciate your African heritage. So you drop the Christian name. Yeah,
all the foreign concepts.
Exactly.
So did you drop yours when you traveled abroad?
I dropped it before.
Okay.
Because it doesn't fit me.
Why's that the reason? Why doesn't it fit you?
Like Francis. I don't look like a Francis, right?
What does a Francis look like?
Not me.
Right? Okay.
The example I normally give is, say someone walks in here and hey, Francis is here.
Yes.
And then he opens the door and then a guy turns up. You're like, where's the Francis?
Yeah.
Behind them, where's the Francis? It's not me.
Okay.
Yeah. I came this close to being named. Everyone was born the year I was born. So many of them are called Robert.
Yeah.
There's so many Robert
Ouko. Yeah.
Literally, I came this close.
You're born around 91?
90.
90. Okay.
So even at home, my name in the house is Bob. My mom is Mama Bob.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then my mom was like, nope, you're not going to call my kid Robert Ouko.
People of Luo heritage are notorious of naming their children after prominent people when they pass away.
Yes. Even Agar. Agar is not the family name.
Okay.
There are people who say it's the family name because there's an Omolo Agar somewhere very close there. And some people tell me to own it because it can open doors.
Yeah.
But it's a thing, It's
okay.
A thing,
Where does that come from, though? I mean, I imagine, was that historically like that? From the time of Luo ancestors, did they also used to do the same thing? They'd borrow a name from a great guy and they'd name their new child's mother. Because in my community, what they do, we name children mostly after a member of the immediate vicinity, so a family member or a neighbor who's passed away. And maybe I don't think they have to be very prominent. They could be generally anybody. But if you have a bad character, then people will not name their children after you.
Yes. I think the best person who would really, really do a sort of etymological, sort of proper treatment of that, would be that guy I was telling you about, Professor Larry Gumbe and his friend, some guy called Devanyona. They're also Kindube people.
They're from Kindube.
Yeah, they know that. They know the traditions of Luo traditions and all that.
Are you a Jakindube?
Mbaya sana.
Okay.
For a very long time on social media, it was Agar Jakindu.
Yeah, I grew up in Gandia for a couple of...
then you're a Kindube. You're a Jakindu.
Gandia Hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's literally as Kindube as it gets, dude.
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember when we were kids, we used to go to River Awach and we would... so River Awach passes close by the hospital. So we'd go up the hill. That's where we actually get the water from, to the hospital. We go up the hill. There was mango trees there. There was monkeys there. And we used to play with the monkeys. the mango trees were very tall, and someone would get up there and grab a mango, or would throw a stone and the mango would come down.
You're more Ajakindo than I, dude.
Okay.
I just realized you're more Ajakindo. But yeah, but why I mentioned Kindube there and Larry Gumbe was I think it was very routine. All these people, you find quite a number of guys in Nairobi and that area called names like Gore.
Yeah.
And when you follow up, you find that there's some sort of relation to Gore. Gore was actually a person.
Yeah.
The guy is called Luanda. The guy is called Oswago. The guy is called so it's a thing. It's a sort of form of veneration, and you've seen it in Luo culture.
Yeah.
Half of the songs and ninis that people dance to are just songs venerating people.
Yes.
Like I don't know. There's
even the Ohangla songs.
It's literally just celebrating people.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've started seeing some for this guy on social media, Mani Biore. Seen Mani
Yeah,
Biore, the guy singing. So it becomes very, very weird because the artists are human beings and it's not really art. By the time you break through in art, you really struggle. But then if you sing a proper song for one of these royalty guys, they're going to throw something at you.
And you will suddenly rise to fame because you have some money to publish better songs probably.
Exactly.
And, throw a bunch of things around.
Yes.
Because I think art also comes with that. I want to imagine guys like, all these great artists from back in the day. I think they died without any fame because while their work was great, they were nowhere in the limelight.
Yes.
And they only shine in the limelight after they are gone. And when you think about Van Gogh, Van Gogh, I hear he died a poor guy.
Yes.
Did he even commit suicide or something like that?
Maybe the one who committed. Okay, does it count as suicide?
But he cut his own ear off. Out of depression or something.
So it's a thing, patronage.
Yeah.
Like patronage, it's literally the definition of patronage, where you would have like, I think during the Renaissance in Europe, those royal families, the Medicis and all these people, they would have, you literally have an artist in your service whose job is to make sure that all this art that we now appreciate as being original, it's in the image of this patron. This guy was always giving you a bit of gold. I think the most infamous has to be Rodrigo Borgia.
Yeah.
Right? The guy whose image is Jesus Christ.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because Rodrigo Borgia, for those who don't know, was a pope, I think.
Also, it was the son,
Okay.
The son. So we had a pope who had a son,
Yes.
and the son is also
but
like...
popes used to get married before. I think it was a new thing.
And they would do the most nasty things possible in those cathedrals.
There's a show called The Borgias. I don't know if you ever saw it or heard of it. I haven't watched it, but I knew it was there around 2016. It was on Netflix. I never watched to watch it. But it was showing the lifestyle of the Borgias. They were nasty guys.
Very nasty people. And you know Niccolo Machiavelli, the prince?
Yes.
You know the protagonist is Rodrigo Borgia's son.
Oh.
This guy we see as Jesus Christ.
Yes.
That's literally... What was it? Rodrigo Borgia? And then what was the name of the son?
It's Cesare, I think. Cesare?
Cesare Borgia.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the prince, the main protagonist in Machiavelli is the prince, is this image of Jesus Christ that if you go to any homestead in Kindube, you're going to have a picture of him there. And the only reason is there is because he was the son of the Pope and could afford to
be drawn.
Pay the best writers and the best
artists,
painters.
Yeah, and they will put up the picture.
Yeah, so it's not, you say, these people making songs about Mani Bior, like very petty artists.
It's nothing new.
It's nothing new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you even think that maybe Van Gogh drawing his sunset photos or the lilies or something like that were all, him paying patronage to somebody, maybe?
So I think the one I can talk about, now I have to be very careful so that I don't spoil a very nice series that's coming up.
Okay.
There are people who say that Starry Night, so it's supposed to be his most famous one.
Yeah.
I think that's his most famous painting. There's a scene in a very popular science fiction tale that's going to be on Netflix. The season 2 is going to be on Netflix very soon. People who know me, I can't spoil it because I'm going to be hunted. The guys are going to be out with spikes looking for me.
Looking for you.
So that sort of Starry Night where I think some people say that it's the very first time where the background of an image is the topic of a famous painting.
Yeah.
Most famous paintings, the background is usually not really that important, but that was the first one.
Yeah.
So some people say that Van Gogh more or less saw a vision. He had a bit of mental health issues.
Yes.
So he had a vision of what will culminate when Andromeda and the Milky Way are colliding.
Yes.
So he had that was a vision. What's going to happen in the next couple billion of years, and it made him go crazy, tipped him over the edge.
Yeah.
The people who say that And I can't really say much about it because I'm going to spoil a very important show.
Yeah, man.
For some people.
I like the way you threw something in there, Andromeda and the Milky Way colliding, man. That is deep.
But yeah, but it's I think most people who are interested in space, you're aware it's colliding, but maybe other people are not aware. Yeah, it's colliding. I think the reason why it's if you look at that image, see, you normally have that the Milky Way usually looks like a disk.
Yes.
But then if you zoom in a bit, you can see that there's something else that's a bit off. Quite a number of the galaxies. It's like 2 disks.
Yes.
You have one disk that is coming like this, and then you have this other disk. So for us, the planar view, we can see it as if it's literally
perpendicular. Yeah.
So yeah, it's going to happen 4.2 billion years from now, but we'll be long gone.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. It's deep. It's not deep, dude.
No, I mean, people never talk about this openly. I mean, for me, it's stuff that I read, and I really never get to intercourse with someone about some of this stuff, especially when we talk about space and stuff like that. But I know you are deep into space as well. I mean, you love space.
Yes.
Apart from being a nuclear physicist, you love stuff in space. Where does that interest come from? You go to a typical Kenyan high school, typical Kenyan primary school. I want to imagine you go to Maseno school. Eventually, where do you go to uni?
Yeah, KAIST. I was at UN for a bit, but then I went to KAIST.
What's the transition like? Why do you leave UN to KAIST?
Because I made the mistake of not following the crowd and going with the guys to med, Maze. Found myself the only person. Okay, not the only person. I had like 2 other people. Someone used to sit just behind me in high school, so he was kind of close to me.
Yeah.
But most of my co-friends, guys I played rugby with in Masen, all of them went to do med.
And you were expected to go and study medicine as well? Was that?
I've never liked blood.
Okay.
Just the thought of blood, dude. I've never liked. Like even my own blood. You play rugby in Maseno school, you get a bit, they're called grass bands. They were hideous.
Yes. So the only stuff you feel is actually the red stuff, which is hemoglobin.
Yes, probably.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, you can think of it as a fluid with some red paint.
So no, that's you, the Nini guy. It's a biological engineering, right?
Yes. Yeah, so biomedical. Yeah.
So now, you know that maybe it's red and it's blood. And
but you can you handle red paint?
No.
Ketchup?
Yes.
Okay.
It's more of I don't know where it comes. It's almost like a phobia, dude. It's almost like a phobia, like the blood. Just the idea of blood.
Yeah.
There's even our culture, guys slaughter stuff. Whenever there's a celebration, guys slaughter stuff. Me, I disappear, dude.
Yeah.
At there's a chicken to be slaughtered.
You never slaughtered chicken as a kid?
I've never done it. Never gonna do it.
Do you eat meat and stuff?
More or less.
Okay.
I was supposed to, me and Saj for a very long time, I was supposed to be the vegan.
Okay.
And they were supposed to help me win myself off veganism. But then I win myself off.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's more of I don't know where the phobia comes from. I need to do a bit of a sort of understanding what's the origin of it. But maybe there's some slaughtering to happen. I normally disappear. I'll come back in hours. Like I go far enough where I can't even hear the animal sort of screaming or anything like that. That's how
I wonder what they call someone who's afraid of blood. You know, the way there's different phobias. So a guy who draws blood is called a phlebotomist.
Yes.
So I'm going to call it, I don't know, phlebophobia. You're phlebophobic. I don't know if that is English. You guys can check that out.
So when you say that's going to start with a PH, Phlebo. I don't mind. It doesn't sound too bad. I've seen guys walking around with the t-shirts with the testosterone names. Trenbolone.
Kind
of
phlebophobic. Yeah. You can put that
like
up.
A proper brand. Yeah. We've really gone on a tangent.
Of course, man. And I like the tangent, of course. But I want to understand the context that puts you in front of me today. I mean, you come into my purview a few months to years ago. When I get to learn that you're this super smart kid who is a nuclear scientist in this country, beautiful country of ours. So I have a friend of mine, Ruben Maso, we went in uni together. And then he ended up in Texas A&M. He did a master's and maybe a PhD. I'm not sure about the PhD, but he did a master's there for sure. Master's in nuclear engineering. And so I met him once in Austin. Was that Austin or Houston? Maybe Houston. I met once in Houston because his school was based in Houston. I used to live in Houston. And he was hanging out with folks from the Kenya Nuclear Energy board. So there was 2 ladies there, and they were visiting Houston, and maybe there was a conference there, and they got to know about him. So they were meeting together. And so on that Sunday, he's picking them up from their hotel. They're going shopping, and Masad also picked me up from my hotel, and we were just hanging out. We were not doing anything really. I was just going to visit him. And so I get to learn that there's a nuclear energy board in Kenya.
Yes.
So there's actually a nuclear energy board in Kenya, eh?
Yes. Okay. But when you say that, then I can tell that it was before 2019, eh?
Yes, it was in 2016, maybe 15, when I was meeting him.
Yeah, that's a while back, yeah.
So there's 10 years ago, more than 10 years ago, probably.
Yeah, so there's always been a form of that organization in one way or the other.
Okay.
So around 2010, around that time when there was a lot of talk of Vision 2030.
Yes.
One of the advisors of the late President Kibaki was a certain Korean, Dr. Kun Mochung. He's still alive, actually.
Yes.
Very, very old. I think
Based here or back in Korea? Okay.
In Kenya, he was...
but those guys live forever, man.
There's now like a study that's saying that the one demography that's going to live, that has most longevity, is not even the dudes in Korea, it's the women.
Oh.
Korean women are like making people rewrite science the way it's supposed to be, because they live like forever. Yeah, so the president had an economic advisor, this Korean dude, and he's the guy who more or less was like, Kenya wants to go to Vision 2030, so let's consider nuclear energy.
Yeah.
So initially there was a tiny committee that was created. Actually, those guys were in the original committee, are still around. Yeah. So there was that committee. It was around until around 2012, I think, where it was gazetted as a board, that Kenya Nuclear Electricity Board.
Yeah.
And then there was the Energy Act of 2019 that transformed it from Kenya Nuclear Electricity Board to NUPEA.
Okay.
So right now, the form of it that exists is NUPEA.
Which stands for?
The Nuclear Power and Energy Agency. So that's very deliberate, Nuclear power and energy. Nuclear energy has a lot of applications other than electrification.
Yes.
There's a bit of medical side there. There's a bit of agriculture there. And then there's the power side where I'm involved. I'm actually one of the directors. People are normally quite surprised. I look young, but I'm not that young,
Well, I mean, this guy is named after Bob Robert Ouko. You can literally calculate his age.
Man, guys are telling me whenever I post stuff on WhatsApp that I'm giving Unk energy. I'm like, what do you expect me to behave like? I want to behave like Gen Z, these 27-year-olds posting dancing skits and showing off my pets.
But I mean, to give credit to the age thing, I think Tom Boyer was probably around this age when he enters the limelight.
Yes. Very, very, that's very true, Like by the time it was our age, I'd already sent guys on that sort of airlift.
So guys were doing these things quite early. And I think the reason why we wonder why is it that it's young people doing this stuff, it's because as time went by, the guys who got there early never left. They sort of stayed for too long. The guys who got into power, into positions early, they never left. They stayed on for too long. And they were in these positions that were meant for other folks to come in, bring in new ideas so that we can propel the state forward. But this, older folk, I guess I may be afraid to leave or afraid to lose an income or something like that. So they stayed on for too long. I mean,
agree.
You can tell me probably, I don't know about your country, but in Canada where I'm based, there's young folk in basically everywhere. You'll see, and I'm using young folk here loosely because over there, when you are 36 years old, you are basically middle age.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, and this hit me hard. I was camping in this February. I went on a ski trip with a couple of guys, friends of mine. And so we had brought in a young guy. He's like in his early 20s, sort of. He's a master's student. So he's in, I think, 21 or 22. So he's over there and he says that, so this group is made of very old people and very young people. You're the only middle-aged guy. And so he said that so naturally, man.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so I ignore it. I mean, he's a young kid, so I'm gonna be okay. The median age there would probably be around 30 years old. Also folks who are there. And so someone just mentioned, man, what do you mean that he's the only middle-aged guy? Are you just aging him right now? No, of course. He's talking about he's married, he has a kid, and there's another one on the way. And of course, Glenn is our older friend. He's like 85 right now, or 82 maybe. So there's Glenn who's so old, and there's all of you guys who are very young. Of course, I'm the youngest here. But this guy's middle-aged, man. He reinforced that thing so hard.
Yeah, man.
But point here being, we are old.
Yeah.
I mean, we are not very young
we're
anymore.
Not kids, we're not babies.
Yeah.
But just as you've said, dude, so the one thing that's going to strike you here in Kenya is that gap, dude.
Yeah.
There's a very, very big gap. You see, you just mentioned someone who's 80 and then there's you and then there's the youngsters.
Yeah.
In Kenya, there's practically nothing like that. It's like these guys were 80 and then there's nothing, dude. And the only place you're going to find a bit of nini, and it's very recent, are these 20-year-olds, the Gen Zs. In between upper, there's practically nothing. And that thing is across the board.
Yeah.
You go to any department at any university here that's been churning out, guys have been writing, whatever. You do not see associate professors, assistant professors. All you see are professors and graduate students, which is crazy. The fact that we have an academic setup where that is functional, and it's not like a recent thing, but there's a thing that happened where half of the, you can say that maybe there was a bit of atrophy of academia in the 70s,
because of the
70s and the 90s.
leadership. Yeah.
Yeah, that structural adjustment thing where literally just took the money out of academics, so it was impossible to earn a living as someone who's producing knowledge or consuming it.
Yeah.
You can make that case, but it's crazy that we have 80-year-olds. And you know, most of these guys who are professors here, the life expectancy in this country for males is like 77. Guys are 82 and you're in the lab, you are the exception.
Yeah.
You are not it's not the paradigm. The fact that we have this sort of gap here, it's existential, dude. And you see it everywhere you go.
Yeah.
You look at the engineering practice. Because you know me, it's more of an engineering. You know me, I'm more of an engineer than a scientist.
Yes.
It's a bachelor in nuclear and quantum engineering, masters in engineering, and all that. But it's there everywhere, which I try to imagine a university like yours, a department that has a professor, and then there are no guys who are in the mid-career, because literally that's the word of it. Mid-career, it's not even early career, because they don't look at you as an early career. You're not early career anymore. You're mid-career. You don't find that here in Kenya. Anywhere you go. And it's crazy. For me, like it's an alarm. Like there's an alarm bell that's blinking. Because these guys,
once they leave,
it's only a matter of time before they're no longer functional.
Yeah. And
then who's going to remain to guide research in this country?
People like you, I guess.
You're in Canada. You know how big the nuclear industry is.
Yeah, of course.
You know how multifaceted it is.
Yes.
You know it's not a one-man show.
It can't be a one-man show. I mean, of course, because it's so multifaceted, and even as we're getting into the gist of this, I am saddened. Of course, I mean, you don't seem to have spent a good chunk of your time doing your studies here, your undergrad or your grad studies. And so there's probably something you missed here. You were here, you said, for a year or something. But what did you study during that year?
Electrical engineering at University of Nairobi.
Yeah. And what did you feel? What was your feeling like when you were going to class? And if you were to juxtapose that against your studies in KAIST?
I did not have any motivation whatsoever to go to class. It was a charade, dude.
Yeah.
Absolute charade. Because you had professors and guys, more of lecturers, less of professors and more of lecturers. People who were just there for that paycheck.
Yes.
It was so geared towards just getting that grade and leaving, more towards these guys who are past their prime and they want to prove to you that they know more than you.
Yeah.
Can you imagine being you're a professor, you teach students. Can you imagine having an attitude like that?
Man, that would be horrible, man. Horrible.
Can you imagine? So it was so disillusioning. And one of the things I'm usually very careful to talk whenever I talk about my career is there's nothing unique about me ending up in Korea and ending up being a nuclear engineer and all that. There's nothing unique about it. Had any of these kids who we were classmates with gotten that opportunity to go to KAIST, they would have been more or less even better than me, dude.
Yeah.
Because you could see guys who were very motivated. And you know, it was a fallback. If you're not going to do, if you passed your exams, your KCSE, and you don't want to do med, you're going to do engineering.
Yes.
So these are prime. These are proper performers.
Yes.
And then they're going to be funneled into this system where it is not even, you can't say it commercial. Like there's no reward for being good at your job.
Yeah.
You have I'm now one of those lecturers. I try to teach a couple of these courses.
Yeah.
And you're not in it for the money, dude. If I wasn't,
you can't.
You cannot survive.
Yeah.
If you don't have something else on the side, like me, the directorship, I'm able to subsidize a bit, and I'm able to motivate myself because I get to teach what I like to my students. It's not the paradigm; it's the exception.
Yeah.
You have a significant chunk of kids out here being demoralized, and you know, academic performance in this country is part of your identity.
Yeah.
it's like the main thing you work towards up until, I mean, back in the day it was KCPE. It's literally that tunnel.
Yes.
So you ignore other stuff around you because these are teens.
Yeah.
And they have this tunnel vision where there's a KCPE coming there and they need to perform 100%. They perform very well. They go to the high school they want. They perform again there.
Yeah.
And then they're all channeled into this system where you have lack of motivation and there's no reward for being good.
Yeah.
There's one of the conversations I've been having with my age mates is, will you need to normalize therapy for these kids?
Yeah.
These kids who are top performers, they didn't really have to put too much effort to be the best. And then suddenly they're put in this sort of funnel where even not putting effort or putting effort has no difference.
Yeah.
It's really bad, man.
Of course, it's really bad because, and the reason why I feel bad is because there's been this sort of belief that education is the answer to all problems. I mean, families would sell land and put their kids through school, only for them to be disillusioned. And then when there's no opportunity for those kids to express what they studied or earn living out of what they studied, and so that belief is sort of disillusioned in the first place. I want to imagine that guys like Tom, when Tom was taking folks out there, so people like Barack Obama, Senior. This was a great opportunity for them to go, learn something, come back and make a living out of themselves. And during that time, education was really something for you to turn out to be, to earn a living for yourself, change your life, change the life of your community, or even change the entire community as a whole. But I feel like we're in a place where that is not the picture anymore. And I feel like there's no solution currently because people still believe in that old system. And it sort of breaks my heart.
It's, I think I can compare it to other countries, to be totally honest, because when I joined KAIST, I wasn't the only African who joined. I joined at the same time with 5 Ethiopians. And one of them was telling me that he was like the top student in that country when they did the equivalent of KCSE.
Yeah.
And they were in Addis Ababa Institute of Technology, and then they had a final exam, and the people who passed top 5 were brought to KAIST. So that's a society that understands that knowledge creation, or even being at the cutting edge of all this stuff, there's a payout to it. I won't lie, like it's I've been able, when we were going to that place, I was the first Kenyan, and the plan initially was, we're going to have Kenyans joining every other year.
Yes.
That never happened. Ended up being the only person, and then it was only in 3rd year that a random dude turned up and we started. But for the Ethiopians, it was systematic. Every year you had 5, and you had guys joining in from undergrad. Some of them coming for graduate, some of them coming for PhD and all that.
Yes.
So academics in Kenya, I don't know how the crisis is going to be solved, because now it's more of it's become a meme.
Yeah.
It's become a meme where huyu mwenye alikuwa na somanga mingi nini ameenda university amerudi tunamuona tu hapa. People want this kuomoka crowd where we can't tell where you got your money.
Yes.
But we see you all over the place. Mwalimu is no longer a word of veneration.
Of course.
When you think of the mwalimu.
Yeah, my grandfather was one of those. My grandfather was a teacher.
The mwalimus, mwalimu Julius Nyerere, it's a word of veneration. If you want to venerate something, Confucian is very similar to Confucianism. Teacher, you've watched those Kung Fu movies. Teacher, master, right? Someone who teaches. It used to be something to be venerated.
Of course, right now, man, it's I don't know. I'm not sure if it's something to be proud of anymore.
I have seen the Denise on TikTok and on Instagram. There's that very vulgar guy from, I think he's from Sigoti or Nyakacho or whatever, that Onyango Tet guy, who's only making fun of teachers.
I don't know. Is it the same guy? Is it the same guy who was in uni and tore his papers?
Yes.
So that's the same guy.
It's the same guy, yeah.
I was talking. Who was I talking to the other day? And I was like, "Is that the same guy?"
It's the same guy.
Because I remember him tearing his papers in MKU.
Yes.
And saying, "I have left."
It's that guy.
This is an exam paper you are seeing. So tell me, how is this thing going to make you rich?
But he had been kicked out, eh?
Okay.
Yeah, he was smearing teachers there. But the fact that how do you expel a youngster because he's smearing you as a professor? He's on social media.
That's horrible. It's one of those things I think I call archaic. I mean, I have students like those who would also want to shine on me a little bit in class. And of course, you give them an opportunity to shine. It's okay. I mean, I probably was one of those kids growing up because I think I used to be super smart. And sometimes teachers would say things that don't make sense, man, and I would challenge them. But in my challenging them, I am just expressing myself and, doing this out of the fact that I know that I have maybe not the right, but it is okay for me to speak up, and I shouldn't be condemned for trying to speak up or trying to say something contrary. Of course, I got in trouble here and there, but I think whatever Nyango was doing, he shouldn't have gotten in trouble for that.
I think that's a very good attitude to have. Because I think you've taught out there, you've seen that. I'm not supposed to do it, but I award points for class participation.
Yes,
of course,
me
guys,
too, man.
Here it's just exam and the cuts.
Yeah.
Me, I normally tell people, but I'm taking note. It's some of the courses are usually virtually.
Yes.
And then I'm recording. If you speak up or interrupt me when I'm talking and it's something valid, I'm going to give you a kitu hapo.
Of course.
We as human beings, we tend to want to have like a hero and a villain. In this particular story, I think the university was the villain. In as much as Onyango Tet is a youngster, just as you said, and he had very strong opinions about an issue, why would that be a bad thing? Why would you expel a kid for something like that? That's clearly a person whose motivation, if it's channeled to the correct cause, that the guys are going to be the superstars, not us.
Of course.
And let us look at the net result. You've expelled this kid in a very public way.
Yeah.
And then he's fit the public's perception of what it means to be successful.
Yeah. Full circle.
Literally. Whatever it was you were trying to achieve by expelling this kid for talking like that about teachers.
Yeah.
And then now this is the situation. How do you correct that?
I want to imagine he probably goes back to MKU with his Mercedes or whatever.
And he comes with it bouncing, right? And he parks it next to, he would go there, administration block, and say, hizi magari zote hizi. It's not for even a single teacher or a lecturer.
Yes.
Now he can, you think you are getting one over the dude, and now he gets 1,000 over you.
Yes. Yeah. True. Oh, man. I mean, I just feel sorry for the fact that, first of all, the education system has its own trouble, but even the guys in the education system, so our teachers, I think maybe also the style of teaching probably needs to change the attitude towards the way you teach.
Yes.
And even all this, the way you grade your students, man, grading your students, in my opinion, grading students only with, a final exam and a midterm cut, and that is the only way that you're grading the students' understanding content, I think there's a problem there. Yep. I want to imagine there should also be something like participatory grading, whereby there's grades for, as you are learning, how are you learning? So let's test your knowledge. And there's grades for, we are testing your knowledge, and you're doing well in this. Because I think that whether you get an A or an E is neither here nor there to show your prowess of understanding stuff. We all understand different things differently. But because we are all thrown into one bucket and then we've got to figure it out from there, I think this leads to all the other problems that we have around, all the infighting that we have, the problems with our politics, the problem with our mismanagement of funds. It's all stemming from the fact that we're all thrown into this one bucket. Okay, now we're all crabs in a bucket. Let's try to fight out as you're fighting to climb out of the bucket. Your friend is going to pull you down. Your friend crab is going to pull you down. And then we end up not having a system which rewards even effort. Because some people genuinely put in some genuine effort. But man, there's no reward for that. And it's kind of sad.
It's really sad. Me, I've taken quite a number of liberties with how I grade. And I don't know if it's only a matter of time before, now that it's online, they're going to figure out who jamaa anafanyanga vitu zake.
Yeah, but that shouldn't be a problem, though.
It shouldn't be a problem because what you want is less of a lecture and more of a discussion. You have a discussion. What I normally do is I use Mentimeter.
Yes.
And I'm going to give the kids content that we're going to discuss. They're going to spend almost a week on it. And then they're going to come and then now we start generating word clouds. And we discuss the word cloud. And it's open-ended.
Yes.
If you feel there's something you want to say about you, you want to do that, what, you are free to do
so
that.
I use Slido in my case and word clouds as well.
Slido, so it's a commercial version.
So Mentimeter also has a commercial one.
But it's a lot more.
Oh, okay.
Slido gives you a lot more capabilities
yes.
than Mentimeter. Me, I'm on that Canadian. I have like 1 million emails, email addresses, million accounts.
So you keep switching to this one and this one. Yeah. But for me, it's not about me. It's about the school. So I build a school.
Okay.
At the end of the semester, I get a year long one. So I build a school once, and then I'm able to run throughout the year.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, and I want to imagine that such effort should be rewarded here as well. You should be able to build a school, and because it's a teaching tool that you're using. But I want there's folks of course, I mean, my audience is pretty vast with what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
But maybe there's someone here who doesn't understand what we're talking about. So what is a Mentimeter? What is, Slido as well is a version of Mentimeter. So what is Mentimeter?
Yeah.
What are word clouds and how do they help?
Yeah, it's more of an interactive tool that allows participation.
Yeah.
I think the traditional way, and I think the last time I saw it, I mean, other than now that I'm back, was in high school.
Yes.
That very one-sided learning process where there's a teacher there and he's reading notes and guys are writing notes.
Yes.
So it's the opposite of that. It's the opposite of that where you have presentations there and you have questions. For example, Mentimeter allows you to ask questions, and then the audience, in this case the students, are able to log into their own account and they're able to participate. So I personally like word clouds because...
And what are word clouds?
Word clouds are... maybe I can just give an example. I can ask something like, what is nuclear energy? And then kids are going to log into that particular slide and they're going to write what is nuclear, and they're going to answer that question.
Yes.
So depending on the answer they write, there's going to be a spread, like a statistical spread where the answer that has the largest number of people contributing to it is going to grow bigger. It's going to be bigger.
Yeah.
So the more people say something, the bigger it gets. So it's going to dominate. Yeah. It's like a cloud. You have very many answers.
Yes.
But the one that is statistically significant is also going to be visually significant.
Yes.
So once you've done that, then everybody puts away their phone or whatever. Now we just discuss the cloud.
Yeah.
What is nuclear energy? You get someone there has written something like nuclear energy is the thingy that was used to flatten Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Yeah.
You talk about that. You say that even before that, there was a lot that had already been used. Nuclear technology had been used for.
Yes.
Literally, we tell them that when they go outside and look up in the sky, they can see the biggest reactor that life would not exist in this country, in this world, on this planet, or in this
universe.
Universe is a bit debatable.
Okay.
We will get to that. In this solar system,
yes.
If it were not for that gigantic nuclear fusion plant in the sky, so it's a very, very not even like a ergonomic way of learning. It, the way you're able to really understand something is not to follow how someone before you understood it, but to look for a way to create those that path from whatever it is you're being given and that permanent memory at the back of your mind.
Make your own.
Figuring out what works for you.
Yeah.
So I think I saw you and must have been Eric. You're saying that people are very good with their hands, that people are very good with...
So the people who are good at just seeing stuff.
Yes.
And they will understand by seeing it. Other people will have to listen. So if a teacher is up there reading their notes, them they are fine. They will understand the concept very well.
Exactly.
Some folks like me, I need something to read. So me, if I have a document to read, I'm cool, man. I don't need to go to class. I don't need to see anything. Just reading, I'm able to visualize, and that's good for me. And some people want to touch the thing. They want to see it and feel it and sort of have this sort of haptic feedback, and that makes them understand it better. And I guess that's the theory that we were discussing with Eric here. And what I was telling him is that in my teaching, I try to include all of these things.
It has to be all.
So that the student who's a very good listener, doesn't become the one who benefits. So that the guy who is very visual also benefits from maybe the video that I play in class, or YouTube video, or so whatever video that I play in class. I know you share memes, and those are images for them to understand, complex content. And I was telling, I don't know if I was telling Eric this or whoever I was telling, that I'm a very poetic teacher. And of course, every once in a while, I go to these workshops where I learn how to also become a good teacher. And in my most recent conference I was attending, I realized that one of the things that we're doing is in this workshop, we were split into groups of 4, and you would teach the 4 guys something. And these 4 guys will give you feedback. And one thing I learned is that in my being poetic, my students probably don't understand some of the things that I say because I am very poetic or very artistic in my teaching. And so you sort of, my assumption is that they understand something. And so if they understand this level, so for example, I will be trying to calculate the height of a building. And so I would have an image of ET, extraterrestrial there. And I will, so in the back of my mind, I'm thinking that they understand the height of extraterrestrial.
Yes.
So that we can progress with this.
Yes.
And then I realized, oh no, so I should first of all explain this concept.
Yes.
And so now as years progress, I have been bringing my method of instruction to a level that can be understood by anyone, even if they did not have background knowledge of whatever I'm sharing. And I've been seeing, improvements in this.
And that's the goal, dude.
Yeah.
The goal is not to make things as complex as possible so that it's only people, so that passing or acquiring this thing is an exception. You want it to be the common, like the paradigm, the common paradigm.
Yeah.
And that sort of recalibration of how you present information, I think you can only have that, they say all of us human beings, we have that impulse to teach.
Yeah.
We have that impulse to teach whenever we find ourselves in a situation where we understand something.
Yeah.
And that's across the board. It's an impulse that is almost, you might say that it's a sort of survival tactic that emerged where we don't have all of us to go out there to be bitten by a snake.
Yeah.
For us to figure out that there's a snake there. If a snake bites you, it's going to kill you.
Yes.
It's an evolutionary tool that we've discovered. So understanding and calibrating what you know, calibrating how you project what you know, so that as many people as possible, we need to these exams that sort of have cutoffs, they create in us this sort of mentality that it has to be a race and there has to be a winner and there has to be a loser, when that's not the case.
Yeah.
What we want is as many people as possible to be able to benefit from our perspective of what we know. So that recalibration, you only get better by recalibrating what you know, how you present what you know, to as many people as possible. If you want to become a memes person, because now I was telling you, I'm having interventions.
Yes.
Because I'm posting stuff on WhatsApp status.
Yes.
And I'm being told, what's up with this guy, this Ankh.
Yeah.
This guy is giving proper Ankh energy. It's because I've not learned that. I've not learned that it's not everyone who's read Harry Potter. It's not everyone who's autistic about space. You get? So I need to find a way to calibrate that.
Yes.
And it's really bad because, and I think for you now, I think you're starting to border on dad jokes, I suspect. Because you post, you tell people stuff.
Yeah.
And then you assume they know, and then they're looking at you, what's up with this dad?
What's up with this dude? Yeah. One of the things that I normally do when I start this beginning of the semester, I have this running joke, beginning of the semester. I always tell students, man, growing up, I always wanted to be a comedian, but I never made it. And so I have written jokes into my lecture notes just to make students laugh. Sometimes they laugh, and when they don't laugh, I tell them, man, that's supposed to be a joke, man. And then sometimes guys would laugh, and sometimes
you're officially a dad, dude. It's official.
Oh boy.
It's not a bad thing. You just own it.
This is a picture of you here.
Yes.
You're being awarded something here.
Yeah.
I hear you're being awarded top 40 under 40.
Yes.
So what is this about? Can you walk me through what's happening here?
Yeah. So I think Business Daily has this annual award that they give to 40 people. There's a male version, there's a male list, and there's a female list. So in this particular year, I was one of the people who was nominated for the male list for my work. I was doing specifically with the Nuclear Society of Kenya.
Yes.
There was a delegation of Korean professors, literally my professors. They were here in Kenya for a while.
Yeah.
And they sort of just brought me into their entourage. They were going all over the place. Back then, I wasn't, like, I just come back from Sweden. Just come back from Sweden. I was trying to figure out what I want to do up.
Yeah.
Do I really want to go back to Europe to be traumatized? But one of the things that I was doing while I was around was to set up that Nuclear Society of Kenya.
Yeah.
And it's what ended up putting me on that list. So the professors are walking all over the place, interacting with nuclear. We have, for the power side, we have a regulator, we have an operator, an owner operator, and then we have it's called a promoter.
Yeah.
So NUPEA is the promoter, the regulator is Kendra, and now we have an owner operator, which is Kenzen. So all interaction with the Koreans, back then they were very, very tight with us. They've been tight with us for a while. I just mentioned that the guy who recommended we have Anini was a Korean.
Old guy, 90-something years now.
Yes. So these guys were around and they were working, interacting with all these organizations. And at the end of it, they were like, hey, dude, you need a nuclear society.
Yes.
So spent almost a couple of months setting it up, and it's what culminated in me being there.
Yeah.
Interesting thing is, that same year, there was another lady who was in the ladies list, a certain Michelle Watiki. I don't know if you've heard of her.
No, I have. Probably she's crossed my purview, but I'm not very sure.
She's the co-founder of this Dark Analytics, this award-winning. Okay, there's her, and there's another dude called Mativo. So the two of them, they're co-founders of this Dark Analytics, and she was on that list, this list.
Yeah.
And I also found myself on the list. I'm not a huge fan of awards, dude.
You're not?
I'm not a huge fan of awards, but I've realized that in Kenya, it gets you into the spaces where you can now be efficient. Like this one got me into a directorship at Nupea.
Yes.
Now I'm able to be in the engine of things, and I'm able to steer things in the direction that it has to go. Because it allows you, I think most of people who do PhD in Kenya, they don't do it because they are passionate about their studies or their research.
Yes.
They do it because it opens spaces for them to do stuff like what I'm doing right now.
Okay.
It opens the doors.
Yeah, it's a door opener, basically.
Exactly. So all these awards, that's what they do. They've done.
Yeah.
They've opened up, and it's made me, I think this is the very first picture you're going to get of me getting an award.
Yeah.
You'll not see it anywhere.
Probably.
I don't know, KCPE, a guy was taking, or KCSC, even my graduation from KAIST,
Yes.
or from KTH, or from University Paris-Saclay. You won't find those images. This is the only one. Yeah.
Funny thing that I'm thinking about right now, I am looking at how our president, got a PhD. And you just said that, folks get PhD so the doors can be opened for them. So is that maybe the PhD is the one that, enabled you to get the presidency, you think?
I mean, having a PhD is politically very, very important. Like, it's very, very strategic. It means that you have, maybe we can discuss first of all, what was the plan initially? Like, in order to get to do a PhD or even to be admitted, it's normally sort of based on, at least this is what I saw at KAIST, the reason why people would be admitted into graduate school. It shows that you can be given something to study and look at, and you have the discipline and the borderline intelligence. Yes, intelligence is not that important to just make it part of your life 100%. You just focus on it 100%. So when you have a doctorate, at least for someone like me, when I see someone has a doctorate, I'm like, this guy, if I give him a problem, he's going to spend time on it and come up with the new knowledge. So if you're a president and you are in a country that has a bit of debt and it feels as if every generation is living worse than the one that was before it, and everybody wants you to come up with something new, something special, then we're going to give you these 5 years for you to focus on that. It's very important. It's very important for you to have that.
I also know
what is his PhD in? How many people do you know that?
Agriculture or something, I think.
That's because you have a PhD and you pay attention. Most people don't. We just care it's a doctor, someone.
Yes.
People know. This is something I've noticed. People telling me, hey, dude, you need to, me, I don't have a PhD yet. I don't have a PhD yet. People are usually telling me, hey, wait, you need to finish that PhD so that you have a doctor apple. And I'm like, where am I going to study PhD in nuclear engineering here? And they're like, it doesn't matter if it's nuclear engineering. And I'm like, you want me to dedicate 3 years of my life on something that doesn't matter?
Yeah.
For most people, that doctor is enough. Yeah. In Kenya, for most people, which is unthinkable. Can you imagine you doing a PhD, something you're not passionate about?
Oh, man. First of all, the amount of time that you're going to be spending, it's crazy amount of time that you spend.
It's crazy, yeah.
It's crazy amount of time that you spend conducting your research, man. And if you're going to be doing it just for the sake of getting a title, I think the amount of time, so, I mean, I spent an enormous amount of time with my students, and some of them they come for seeking advice. Mostly African students, international students. They're like, man, professor, I'd like to do a PhD. So, what do you think? Is it a good idea or is it something? So, the first and only question I probably ask is, why are you doing this? And I tell people, you only want to get into grad school if you're interested in research.
Yes.
If you want to earn, you will earn more money if you graduate and go start working.
Yes.
As opposed to finishing, graduating your undergrad and going into grad school.
Yes.
Because the amount of time you spend in grad school, your colleague is already working and earning money.
Yes.
I mean, you're going to be paid some money doing grad school, but it's going to be peanuts.
You can't compare it to someone who's already in the field.
You can't compare it to someone who's already in the field.
Yeah.
And by the time you graduate, so let's say you're in this pathway for 6 years, you're doing your PhD for 6 years, 7 years sometimes. For, some PhDs, you'll end up being there 7 years, 8 years even.
Yes.
Your funding probably is going to run out at year 6 or year 5. So those remaining 2-3 years, you're figuring it out by yourself, and maybe the guys in the field are like, man, what's wrong with this guy? Now people are starting to become uncomfortable with you.
Yeah.
And maybe stuff is not working for you. So and so I look at that, the output that we, the amount of output that we're able to give after the couple of years that we are in our programs, man. It's a fairly a fairly good amount of chunk of knowledge that you output into the society. Whether it's publications or conference presentations or stuff like that. And so sometimes I have guys from here telling me they want to do a PhD in Canada, and they reach out, man. They DM me. Of course, I'll send them my number. Hey, give me a call on WhatsApp this time. They call me. But we have a chat, and you find that their motivation is very different. Their motivation is, I want to do this for immigration purposes. Yes. Of course, it's fine, do it for immigration purposes, and it's an opportunity for you. But it is almost impossible. I can almost see an impossibility of you getting in because you have zero publication. Your research is very questionable. You would send me a paper, maybe if you have a publication. But when I look at it, man, sounds very generic, not very original. It's some sort of what do you call it? What do you call them? A review paper, systematic review. And man, supervisors will shun the systematic reviews. They don't care about your systematic review.
Nobody's gonna publish your systematic review. No journal, what's its name? It's going to publish your systematic review. So you mentioned something very, very important there. One of my, let me not call it the biggest regret, because now I found myself somewhere where I can do something I can work on something I studied. Yeah. So there's a bit of utility in that. But I look at these guys who did their computer science undergraduate at KAIST and went to Silicon Valley. Yeah. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. Mbona nateseka hapa Nairobi with that. It is let me just use a linear sort of timeline the way you mentioned. So we have two guys who are going to graduate. There's a guy with his bachelor's in nuclear engineering. He wants to do a master's. He wants to do a PhD and finish everything. And then there's this person who he's not even going to graduate in time for the undergraduate because in between he decides to go do an internship at Google for 4,000 USD in San Francisco, which is peanuts, but it's aiming towards something. So this guy is going to take an extra year to graduate, but this final year, he's already secured a job at Google. It's literally waiting for him. He's going to come out, go to Google, spend 2 years or 1 year and a half, then quit. Yeah, I think you've seen it. These guys who are in tech, they never... That sort of loyalty to a brand, it's never a thing. They quit and then they apply to Amazon, quit and then go to NVIDIA, quit, go to Google. Like
or
all that
quit
stuff.
And start their own thing.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So within these 6 years between these 6 years, between when you start your master's, maybe you go direct to PhD, and when you get your PhD, this person has moved past the typical 200,000 USD per year to even 600, 700. Yeah. And they're now in a position where when you come out, they're going to fund you. They're going to fund you to do entry-level stuff. Yeah. Where you're going to be, this Google research is usually, by the way, on the side, and it's already full of guys who, they did this internship and switch. Then they went back to the need now create knowledge. And I think people need to understand that even that PhD, your interview to get into graduate school, the one thing that the interview committee is always going to look at is your capacity to finish it. True. Your capacity to finish it. Because it's less of how bright you are. Yes. It's less of, how can I put it? Like, if you're the sort of person who, we just talked about people who spend a year at a particular company, then quit, start another one, go to another place, quit, start another one. Those people are going to fail the PhD exam. Yeah. The sort of, you have a couple of people who are going to assess the proposal for a PhD. They're not going to quit because
you're comprehensive.
Committee, in as much as your grades are good, you have 4.3 out of 4.3, and you've done internships in a national lab somewhere. Guys are not interested in that. Guys are more interested in how good are you at blocking everything off that's happening around you and being, the word I normally use is autistic, and just being autistic about this one thing for 4 years. Your capacity to put your life on pause for 4 years and focus on this. Because PhD, the first year where you're taking courses is good, dude. You're going to ace those exams. And then you're now in the lab. And you're supposed to come up with results. And every week, your professor wants to see what you've done. Yeah. And remember, at the same time that is happening, your life in as much as you've paused it, life is still happening. There are days when you wake up and maybe your funding is almost running out, and now that's a bit of a doubt. There's a voice at the back of your mind that in as much as you're good at ignoring it, it's still going to be there.
Yeah.
And it's going to be trying to, that imposter syndrome hits you quite a lot during such times.
Yeah.
You need to have the skills to drown that out and still focus on this.
Yes.
So very few of us in this country, people who've gone through the education here, are going to be able to pass that. That's the way you hear people have spent around 10 years on their PhD. And somewhere like Canada, if someone is spending 10 years on a PhD project, they haven't gotten their PhD, when the funding was for only 4 years or 3 years.
Yeah.
The 7 years, where are you going to get money? Where are you going to get the funds?
It's a struggle, man.
It's crazy.
First of all, you're going to switch to become a part-time student after year 5 or something.
Yes.
And then from there on, man, first of all, even your supervisor is tired of you
Yes.
at that point.
Yeah.
Because you will come to understand that you've been this student who's been sort of difficult. If you're getting to year 5, year 6, and there's no clarity of when you're finishing,
Yes.
you must have been a difficult student so far.
Yes.
And so your supervisor, though, is done. It's basically done with you.
They're just like counting their losses.
Yeah. And they're like, man, there was a bad bet, but I mean, it's not their money in any case. It's the government's money. So they will be sort of, and there will be new guys coming in, and you're seeing, and you even get to this state of maybe depression or something, because you see all these other guys coming in and maybe this stuff is working for them.
Yeah.
And you start blaming people, man, stuff is not working for me, my stuff is not working, stuff like that. But anyways, at the end of the day, I think the most important thing is knowing that if you're going to go into the academic path, know that you're doing this for a certain reason. You're doing this maybe because you want to become a researcher and you're passionate about research, and not because you want that title, because most people just want the title.
Yes.
And it's not a big thing. Like in Canada, man, you'll never hear me being referred to as. I hear folks here being referred to as a professor. I mean, guys call me that.
Here.
I mean, nobody ever refers to me as that in Canada, apart from some Kenyans. And even my students don't call me that, man. They call me by my first name.
It's routine, because the university and the academia is sort of every other person you're going to meet also has that title. So it's not you can't use it as if you say doctor, everyone's going to turn. If that's a thing, if you say doctor or professor or whatever, everyone's going to turn and look at you. But it's not a thing because it's just another title. But up it's the exception, so people want to use it as a name. But I don't know. Like,
but I've seen it opens doors here, though. I mean, I've seen it open doors.
Yes, it opens doors, and but at the same time, it also puts you on a pedestal if you're the sort of person who just wants to be part of the crowd. Yeah. Because that's the instinct I got in Korea. Yeah. You don't want to stand out, dude. You're like, you're already a black dude.
Yes.
So you're going to stick out like a sore thumb. But you still have to find a way to just disappear ndani ukuwe a person.
Yes.
Because I don't think people understand just how bad it is. Because there's this thing where, from a culture, you can sort of tell what the value is usually about. They say that the grass that stands out gets mowed. Yes. So that is the instinct.
Or the nail that sticks out gets hammered.
Yeah. So that's the instinct. That's the thing that was installed in me for those 4 years I was in Korea, where don't stand out, dude.
Yeah.
Just do your thing, walk in the back end, doing whatever, but already you're black, so you're going to stand out. So you're always looking for something. Yeah, kujificha kiasi.
Yeah.
Hapa in Kenya, it's the opposite.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to stick out and to be the person who everybody is waiting for you to say something that is interesting.
Yeah.
If guys are expecting a professor to turn out and then a meme lord turns up, it's a bad thing.
Yeah, but that is the professor. That meme lord is the professor. I've given a guest lecture at JQuad. JQuad is my alma mater. So I've given a guest lecture there twice before. And I guest lectured at KU too. And I think that the kids, the students liked my teaching style. I'm pretty sure the guys who invited me were wondering, what is this guy doing? What is this dude doing?
But that's the thing. The guys who invited you are like guys in their 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
If I have Soldier Boy there dancing uranium, you, they're like, who the hell is this guy and what is he doing all this stuff? But the youngsters are very happy to see that.
Yeah.
That's the issue. That's another issue.
Yeah.
These people, they've been invited you there because they've seen bioengineering there.
Yes.
This guy is a professor.
And they think that I'm going to be coming there to speak about very complicated stuff. And maybe that's the expectation. Of course, I have that in my lecture slide. I always have these slides that I don't show. They're always hidden at the very back. If a student has asked a question and I want to illustrate this to them, if they didn't understand what I explained, I'll pull up that slide and I'll show it to them. But I also don't think that you want to show those complicated things because they are not
if it's a guest lecture, I can tell it's like 100 kids. I'm
Yeah.
to come in, it's like a lecture hall
Yes.
full of kids. They're not there to see you solve partial differential equations. They're not there to see that. They want to get, like, the reason why you've been invited is there's a couple of them who are going to see you and see themselves in you.
Yeah.
Or see, right? Like, literally, that's what they want to see. So if you have 19-year-olds and you're going to come there and have matrices, you're going to multiply them several pages worth of an equation that is multiple, whatever, then just guys are going to sleep.
Yeah.
But the problem is that this 80, this 90-year-olds, that's not what they want. They want to see you even, if you bring out a calculator, they'll be like, that's not how it's supposed to be done.
Yeah.
Bring out log tables or like
Let's use log
abacus.
tables.
Yeah.
I have this this image here. I think this must have been a placard that you wore or something, a badge or something.
Yeah.
So it's reading. I'm going to give it to you in a moment. It's reading leader Francis Agar, board member and engineer, Nuclear Power and Energy Agency.
This is the, I don't know that's called the most recent award where we were at Cape Town.
Yeah.
There's it's called NLIT, NLIT Power Africa. It's a continental expo.
Yeah.
It's not a conference, it's more of an expo, where every year they host this sort of expo in Cape Town.
Yes.
All about power and water. And I know they call it the 21st century Gordian knot. Gordian knot, there was that situation where Alexander the Great found himself in Gordia.
Yeah.
And he encountered a knot that was very complicated and he didn't know how to unravel it.
Yeah.
So I normally say the 21st century version of that is power, energy, food, power, and energy.
Yes.
It's a knot where you can't touch one without touching the other.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this one was an award that I got there. I was one of the, I don't want that word, elites. I don't want that word, elites, because you read about the French Revolution, what happened to the elites.
Yeah,
Guys
of course.
I don't want to be considered an elite.
Yeah.
I want to just be a person who condemns. But I was awarded this. We were 12 of us. And I was the only guy there because of nuclear. But all those other people, there were data center people there.
Yeah.
There were people who were into carbon capture. There were renewable people.
Yes.
So it's a very pragmatic expo.
Yes.
You know, we've been trained to think that the universe is binary. It has to be a 0 or 1, and even human beings.
Yes.
We are bipedal.
Yes.
So it has to be he, ama he.
Yes.
But most of the time it's a mix. So the reason why we have so many people who are leaders and who are listed in this from different fields is because these endly people understand that it has to be a mix.
Yeah.
There's a place for nuclear, there's a place for coal. People don't like that.
Yes.
Normally get cancelled whenever I say that. There's a place for geothermal. There's a space for renewable.
Fossil.
There's a place for fossil fuel. Like fossil fuel, it has to be fossil fuel.
Yes.
In Kenya, for example, it has to be fossil fuel. In as much as the nuclear is there,
Yes.
and we can do it, it still has to be fossil fuel.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean. I call myself a pragmatist. I'm less of a nuclear person. I'm more of a pragmatist. I can't go to Samburu and start telling guys about nuclear there, dude. No, right?
But today here on the pod, man, I want you to break down this nuclear for me a little bit. I mean, I've brought some props here with me, and I want us to use them to illustrate this.
Yeah.
So I understand that in the periodic table, ion, illustrated by Fe, sort of becomes the distinction between fission and fusion. So here with me, I have these two spheres here, and I want you to just sort of use them to illustrate to me the difference between nuclear fusion and nuclear fission.
Fission.
Yes.
Before that, it's a bit not really a tangent. I want to address that one. Ion being, it's more or less the boundary between what has a natural tendency to fission.
To fuse, yes.
And what has a natural tendency to fuse.
Yes.
So the reason why iron is very abundant in the universe is because it sits at the very top of this graph of binding energy per nucleon.
Yes.
If you have a graph where you have binding energy per nucleon on the y-axis and the mass number on
the x-axis, yes.
If you're plotting this, you're going to see that between where the lattice element is hydrogen and where iron is, the binding energy per nucleon is always going to be rising.
So let's make this more interesting. You can draw it here for us.
So if you take all elements we know, if you plot all elements we know, where here you're going to have the mass number.
Yes.
Let me use like that. And here you're going to have the binding energy.
Yes.
Yes, and you have the binding energy per nucleon, which
Yes.
is the energy you need to hold the nucleus together divided by the number of nucleons.
Yes.
Nucleons, you have 2 because they're there in the nucleus.
Yes.
You have protons and you have neutrons.
Neutrons, yes.
So if you plot all the elements we know in the universe, current universe,
Yes.
with like this, you're going to notice that from the lowest element, which is hydrogen,
yes.
you're always going to be rising.
Yes.
And then there's a bit of a plateau. And at the very tip, you're going to find iron.
Iron, yes.
But of course, there are other elements that have a higher mass number than iron.
Yes.
All the way to uranium.
Yes.
Uranium is like the most naturally abundant, but you're going to see it falling.
Yes.
Yeah. So
the binding energy is going to be going down.
yes, it's going to be going down. Some people say that this goes to infinity.
Okay.
You know, we've only discovered quite a very tiny number of isotopes that go past what uranium, plutonium, and even plutonium itself is man-made.
Yes.
It doesn't exist naturally in the universe.
Yeah.
But there's no reason to believe that this line has an end. It might go even to infinity.
Yes.
Yeah, but we just, in this part of the universe, that's all we have.
Yeah.
So you're going to notice that this rises. This rises binding energy per nucleon. And of course, you have these areas where you have like the shell. There's a way that subatomic particles arrange themselves where in certain configurations, there's this tendency to look for the lowest energy.
Yes.
And that normally manifests in this. So this line is not more or less smooth.
Straight, yeah.
Ikona some
Some
nooks
bumps,
and crannies. Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
So the reason why this happens is that when you have a low mass binding energy per nucleon,
yes,
your tendency is to try to reduce your energy, your resting energy as low as possible. And the way you do that is for looking for another low need to merge with.
And bring together.
Yes. So that merging is fusion, literally fuse.
So a hydrogen will fuse another hydrogen to make a helium in this case.
Yes.
Or a helium, another helium to make a lithium.
Number 4 is lithium. Yeah,
lithium, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the thing. But it takes a lot of energy.
Yes.
It's fusing because there's Coulomb repulsion.
Yes.
If you have a nucleus that is positive and another that is positive, or even if it's negative, it's going to come, but it's going to reach a place where there's an asymptotic rise in the amount of energy that needs to come together for this fusion to happen.
Yes.
And we're able to do that. Naturally, it happens quite a lot. And actually, fusion is far more common in the universe than fission.
Yes.
The night sky, if you look up, you just see stars. All those are fusion. It's fusion. It's usually these very light elements fusing to form a bigger element. And that process of fusing releases a bit of energy. Yes. Binding energy per nucleon.
Yes. And so that energy can be called nuclear energy then?
Yes, that's nuclear energy.
Okay.
So the sun is literally now a nuclear reactor, if you think of that. And you have quite a number of projects that are happening here on Earth by our species to try and make suns. We've already figured it out, actually. We can make suns very easily. The only problem is that the way we produce energy is we need to find a way to enclose it. So we need to find a box
to put it in
that can hold a sun.
Yes.
And we can't because the most thermally stable element we know is tungsten.
Yes.
But it melts at just 12,000 degrees Celsius when we're talking about millions of degrees in order to be able to overwhelm this Coulomb repulsion.
Yes, that happens during the fusion.
We need to heat up these two nuclei enough so that instead of them being two very distinct, it's just a ball of plasma.
Yes.
It's just a ball of plasma, and that fusion can happen in the plasma. So that's the challenge with this. But then we just say that these elements can fuse depending on how much energy is available for the nucleons to overwhelm Coulomb repulsion.
Yes.
And this will happen, hypothetically, this can happen all the way to iron. But when you get to iron, it becomes impossible because the amount of energy you're going to input becomes astronomical.
Yes.
It becomes like the sort of energy you'd need, because the reason why you have black holes, it's usually there's a point you've gotten where you have enough energy to fuse all these heavy elements.
Yeah.
But it's too technical for our species to be able to engineer.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you've mentioned a black hole here. So if for members from my audience here, what is a black hole?
A black hole. I'm more of an engineer, less of a physicist. I'm more of an engineer, less of a physicist.
Yeah. But my understanding is a black hole is a point where the there's so much gravity that it sucks everything into it.
So that's an effect of it. I don't think we really studied them quite a lot.
Yeah.
It's an implication. It's an implication of a lot of the work that Nani specifically. I used to really dunk on him quite a lot. I thought he was overhyped. Stephen Hawking.
Okay.
So black holes are an explanation that physics came up with to explain certain oddities that were apparent as quantum mechanics, as a new field, matured.
Yeah.
There were some discrepancies we could see when we're talking about light having an ultimate speed, but then we see all over the places, and we see cases where light is not really behaving as if it's the ultimate force in the universe.
Yes.
Yeah. So black holes were come up with to sort of explain. I think you've been in a space where knowledge is being produced. If you, I think the best example I can give for that, sorry for going for a bit of a tangent, has to be the discovery of a neutrino, of neutrinos. So guys were solving equations, and the mass, you're supposed to balance the equation. This side of the equation, equal to this number of nucleons, this amount of energy. This side of the equation, there's this number of nucleons, this energy. But then we're looking at this energy, and we see that there's something missing.
Yes.
So because there's something missing, there's something we haven't discovered.
Yes.
So this thing we haven't discovered, we're going to name it
neutrinos. There you are.
That's literally, that's how things are done.
Yes.
And before the 19th century, it used to be just dudes in the basement.
Yeah. Working the math out.
Guys come up and then this is a thing, I've discovered this, and then it becomes the paradigm.
Yeah. And so neutrinos are a mathematical concept. They're not necessarily a physical concept.
Okay, let me put it like this. By convention, by peer review, they are a thing.
Yes.
And until you show us it's not a thing, it remains a thing.
Okay.
Typical scientific stuff.
Of course.
We have enough people who've agreed that it's a thing.
Yes.
So if you're going to come say it's not a thing, show us.
Yes.
Exactly.
And then we will sort of agree with you.
Yes. So my understanding of black holes is that I'm sure there are people who can give it a proper, better treatment.
Yeah.
But that's my understanding of it. And also my understanding of black holes has been doped a bit by science fiction.
Yes.
So I don't know where the science fiction starts and where the actual science starts. So I'm gonna give it a bit a wide berth, a very wide berth.
Did you watch? Was it Nolan's film as well? I think it was a Nolan film. Interstellar.
I'm triggered. How many years is it since then?
2014, I think. 16 maybe.
2014.
Yes.
It was 2014. I remember because that year also nearly came out Mars, where Matt Damon was stuck in Mars.
Yeah, is that the Martian? Yes.
I was triggered by Interstellar because they hyped it, and then I watched it, and I was like, "This is nonsense, dude."
Okay, why? Because of the fact that McConaughey gets into the black hole and is able to get out of the black hole as well.
Literally that.
Yes.
So this guy, black holes are supposed to be the ultimate force in the universe, but this guy has a rocket that has enough delta V to escape that from that Schwarzschild radius. So light itself cannot escape.
Yes.
But this guy has an engine.
Yes.
That car, what was the name of that car? Aircraft.
I forget. Yeah.
You know, this thing, I exposed myself as an ankh once, where we were in that time I was in France, and I was seated with my classmates and my lab mates, and we're just having lunch, and guys were talking about Interstellar.
Yeah.
And then I decided to go autistic on it, criticizing it mbaya sana. And then guys were looking at me as like, is this guy unhinged? And you know, for a very long time, I was like, why are these guys looking at me like this? I thought they were going to support me.
Yeah.
And then I realized that Interstellar had come out. You know, most of those people were like they're like 27 up when I was already 32.
Yes.
So when Interstellar came out, they were the equivalent of a class 7 kid watching Interstellar. And you know, Christopher Nolan and Hans Zimmer. Hans Zimmer who came up with the Kanini. It was so epic. There's a way Hans Zimmer does his stuff, especially when he's working with Christopher Nolan, like in Inception, all those whatever, where the movie is more about the entire thing. It's less about the dialogue and the science and whatever, and it's more of the catchphrases, things like, hey, the only thing that can cross space and time is love. And you've done a bit of physics, you're like, what
are you guys talking about?
But for a class 7 kid,
yes,
that's so awesome.
Of course.
He's going to write it in a poem to his girlfriend, right?
The only thing that can cross space and time is love.
So I tried to wreck it up when these guys were like, this guy's an ankh, the ultimate ankh. So I stopped,
Yeah, I mean, but it's beautiful. Of course, I'm enjoying it. I'm sure some members of the audience are going to eat it up. Some are going to be like, what are these guys talking about? But if you don't understand this, man, I am so sorry. It basically means it's not for you. There's another episode for you, though.
you're gonna bring nani to okay. Let's not be. You need to be careful not to be typical. So, I told you I really hate this word.
Okay.
I hate it, so let's not be this word. Yeah,
sure.
So past iron.
Yes, so past iron. Now we're going into a different paradigm. Yes.
So for the many elements, for the heavy elements,
they're
already quite heavy, and they're way past what the equilibrium is, which is iron. So they naturally want to look for a way to sort of shed off, dissipate a bit of their energy.
Yeah.
Now there are very many ways they do that. A lot of the alpha emitters, alpha is one of the subatomic form of radiation.
Yeah.
More or less the nucleus of helium. So you're going to see a lot of helium alpha emitters when you move past iron, radioactive decay. They move down to ground level by emitting as much mass stroke energy.
Yes.
There's an equality there as possible.
Yes.
And emitting an alpha particle is very, very efficient.
Yes.
However, under the correct conditions, they can emit something bigger, which is another atom. It's big enough to be another atom. And the one element that does that very well naturally is uranium.
Yes.
So people don't really, very few people get to really interact with uranium long enough to understand that uranium has been on Earth at least since the very beginning.
Yes.
It was like we can debate about how we ended up having all these heavy elements scattered all over our solar system.
Yeah.
But uranium has always been there.
So
there was a point.
14 billion years, you said?
The half-life is 4.2 billion years.
Okay.
The amount of time it takes for half of the uranium that was initially here to
Yes.
decay into something else is 4.2.
Yes.
But the decay is not fission.
Yes.
The natural tendency of uranium to decay is not fission, it's still alpha.
Yes.
But there are conditions in which it naturally splits into two.
Yes.
Forming barium, mostly barium, and I can't remember the other radioisotope, not radioisotope, isotope because it's not radioactive. I can't remember, but mainly barium and this other one. I think it's neptunium.
Yes.
Neptunium, I can't remember exactly.
Yeah, we can look it up.
Yes. So here on Earth, people think that it's human beings who created an environment where uranium could fission, split into two. But that's not the case.
Yeah.
That's not the case. One of the biggest mysteries, there are very, very, very many mysteries in science, but one of the most, and even up until now, I normally get goosebumps when I think of it, is you have parts of Africa where if you go, you're going to see fission products.
Yes.
So when we just talked about how when uranium fissions, you get certain isotopes that cannot come from anywhere else, other than there was uranium here, and it fissioned, split into two.
Yes.
There's a plate in Gabon where they found fission products there.
Yes.
And the calculations they were doing, sort of, can work backwards. You have this amount of fission products. You work backwards and you figure out that there was uranium here. And the uranium, the isotope of uranium that splits is not uranium. There are a number of isotopes.
Yes.
Uranium 238, 235, 233.
Yes.
It's uranium-235 that
fissions naturally.
Fissions.
Yes.
But uranium-235 is very little in nature.
Yes.
It's like only 0.7%. Most of uranium is this uranium-238.
Yeah.
So how come uranium-235 has fissioned this much in Gabon? Meaning there was enrichment there.
Yeah.
And enrichment is not a natural process. It is not a natural process.
So what you're saying here is that there was a civilization in Gabon that was enriching uranium-235?
Maybe.
Okay.
Right?
And when you work backwards, what is the timeline here?
About 2 billion years. And that thing was active for, I think, like 1 billion years.
Okay.
I mean, people really need to understand the magnitude of this thing, because when the French encountered it, there was a bit of racism, to be truly honest, to explain.
Yeah.
Why it's clearly in Africa, it's supposed to be the dark continent, and we now know that fusion is a thing. But 2 billion years ago, the conditions that need to exist for uranium to fission.
Yes.
We work with probabilities as engineers and people in the knowledge industry.
Yeah.
The probability that we were gonna, number one, enrich uranium.
Yeah.
And we're gonna enrich it to sufficient amounts such that fission can happen naturally.
Yeah.
It's borderline impossible, but it's there.
Yeah.
You get? It's one of those things that is just hanging out there. I think the other one is the one I normally talk about, the discovery of Sirius B.
Yes.
That dogon mythology.
Yeah.
Where you have a tribe that knows that at a very specific point over there, these Wazungus are pointing the telescopes at a specific part of the sky and they see one star. And your villagers there, they're saying, dude, that's not one star. It's a binary star system.
Yes.
And then optics, this optical astronomy develops long enough. We have enough lasers
to be able to tell that there's multiple.
There, and we see that Sirius is a binary star system.
Yeah.
It's those mysteries that you hear in science, and if you understand the implications long enough, you borderline return to religion, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
now,
tangent.
I mean, of course. So these two ways is how we create the nuclear energy. So fission and fusion. Fusion by bringing two elements together, and fission by separating one atom and breaking it into two sort of elements.
Yes.
And so now with this nuclear energy, I have a glass of water here, and I want us to illustrate how this converts into electricity, because for a long time, even myself, I think before I got to understand this, I thought that, by just creating nuclear energy, we will take this nuclear energy and somehow tap into it, and we have electricity.
We just stick a couple of terminals there.
Yes, you stick some terminals there, and you get this energy. So I have a glass of water here.
Yes.
And I want us to use this glass of water to illustrate how then we create electricity from nuclear energy. Let me try aim this water into this glass. So in here I have some water. So how does then nuclear energy generate electricity?
So this is going to be the anticlimax of this discussion up, because guys are going to be like, kumbe hii nuclear imekuanga tu ya this guy is walking around with the nuclear as if it's sci-fi.
Yeah.
Kumbe ni wasetu.
I'm just going to grab the iPad.
Yes, please. Yeah.
Yes.
We generate electricity from nuclear this exact same way we generate electricity from coal.
Yes.
We need something that is going to heat up a set amount of water.
Yes.
Turn it into steam. Use that steam to turn a turbine.
Yes.
Take advantage of Coulomb's law.
Yes.
Where if we have a magnetic field somewhere and there's a movement, we can cause electrons to start moving.
Yes.
And literally electricity is electron in motion.
Yes.
So how fission specifically heats up this water is together this atom,
uranium,
this nucleus, this nucleus weighs more like this than if it's the two of this.
Okay.
And this difference here is, if you can look at it in terms of mass. There's some mass missing. When it's like this, it's heavy, but when it is two, there's something missing, a very tiny one when you look at it in terms of mass. But when you look at it in terms of energy, taking advantage of the most famous equation in the world, energy is equals to mass divided by the speed of light squared, it becomes quite a lot. So the reason why nuclear is next level when it comes to heating is that this process of splitting gives us energy, transfers energy actually to these two units.
Yes.
In mega electron volts, like 1,000 times, a million times more than what would be the case if this was something else and we're just burning it. Burning is just chemical combustion.
Yes.
A couple of electron volts. It's good for civilization that wants steam engines and wants to carry like an entire truckload worth of fuel to move a very close place, a very tiny direction, distance. But then for civilization that wants to cross the stars, for example, it's unacceptable. So this very tiny thing here can give us 1 million times what we would get if we burnt it. And this energy, it transfers it to these two. So now these two have kinetic energy. And as these two are moving through water, there's a bit of friction. It's going to rub off in the water molecule. It's going to transfer it to the water. Like if we zoom in, it's just going to be a bit of friction. But when we zoom out macroscopically, temperature.
It's going to be heating it.
So there are very, very many things it can heat. In most of the reactors we have around the world, we heat water. For the simple reason that our species, we've been dealing with water since the very beginning.
We have sort of understanding of how water behaves.
Exactly. Like we literally grow in water. There's amniotic fluid in our mother's wombs. It's water.
And you are 70% water.
Exactly. So we understand it a lot better. We can use metal. Like, me, I spent a bit of time really becoming the bad guy. Okay. Becoming the good guy in metal. I was at SCK CERN in Belgium, that nuclear research center for a couple of years. You've been there?
I haven't been there, but I have a bunch of colleagues who've been there.
I
even have a t-shirt. Well, I mean, they all come back looking weird and strange.
It's messed up.
Yeah.
I was there for like half a year.
Yeah, and all that, my understanding, all they do is CERN is this facility where there is accelerators. Basically, they have accelerators.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you know that mirror reactor that they're building, that component. There's a component there, that primary cover gas and ventilation system. I designed it.
Oh,
And they didn't give me any money, man.
come on.
Can you imagine? I would have been having a GLE
You
and
know?
like Nani go and attack and Anyango Tate.
Yes.
Dude. Yeah. So SEK Sun, the reason why, okay, let's go around in case here. So this mirror reactor is going to be liquid cooled. So instead of water there, we have lead base smooth.
Yes.
And the reason why we want lead is because we are literally going to have millions of electron volts from the splitting, this fusion.
Yes.
This fission.
Fission.
Is going to give us millions. And we need to find a way to take all this energy somewhere. Because the amount of for a fixed amount of water, we do not have an infinite scale for temperature. It's an engineering system. We need to design it so that we know how much water we need. The amount of water we need to evacuate 1 million electron volts is a lot.
Yes.
Because can I mention an equation?
Of course. Of course you can.
If we have a quantity of heat Q and we want to transfer it to a mass,
yes,
it's going to be Q will be equal to a mass.
Yes.
Then there's a constant, right? A constant in pressure. And then there's a delta T.
Yes.
For a fixed amount of mass, okay,
so Q is equal to MC multiplied by the change in temperature.
Yes, exactly. Yes. So if we fix M, and the Nini is already fixed,
Yeah, the specific heat capacity.
Yeah, specific heat capacity is fixed. Then delta T can be very large.
Yes.
Right? But we don't want delta T to be very large.
Yeah.
So the only other thing we're going to modify has to be the mass.
Yes.
So for water, we need a large amount of water to be able to evacuate several millions of electron volts. Yeah. But for lead, like this one, water, like it might turn into steam at some point, and then now we have to deal with pressure.
Yes.
We're no longer in constant pressure. It's a problem.
Yes.
But when we have metal delta T can go all the way to, okay, not infinity, but delta T is a lot more accommodative for very tiny M. So that mirror reactor uses lead bismuth eutectic.
Yes.
We can operate between ambient temperature. Remember this specific heat capacity.
Yes.
Even this mass of water, we have to pressurize it.
Yes.
In any place there's pressure. Like pressure is like engineering, an engineer's nightmare. You don't want pressure.
Of course.
Because it's a material science problem. I mean, we're not material scientists. Yeah. So we can operate lead-cooled reactors and these metal reactors at room ambient pressure.
Yeah.
Lovely. Absolutely love it.
Yes.
Because me, I hate high temperatures. Because there's going to be
something
gas there.
Yeah.
Now you have double phase and you have to calculate that. I don't like it. I'm a lazy guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So mirror. We worked on a lead base smooth eutectic reactor. It's the only thing I did for almost 6 because it's in the middle of a forest somewhere, man, where you can't even order food, man. It's like 20 minutes away.
Yeah.
And it's Belgium and there's a river there that's very nice.
Yeah.
And you're going to see guys who didn't do a master's, who
just chilling.
And they're passing there with yachts, man.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? I've seen guys passing with yachts.
Yeah, and you are there with your super smartness
my lead cooled reactor that I'm never going to use. Yeah. So that's the situation with all these technologies.
So the water then is what we're basically saying is that we turn this water into steam and turn a turbine with it.
Yes.
Which is similar technology to what coal does, which is similar technology to what solar, getting light from solar does.
Yeah, like solar,
getting
if you have
electricity from
there's
solar.
This technology where they have like molten salt, where you're gonna, so we only have the sun for like half a day, more or less, and then you want to find a way to store all this, so you only melt a bit of molten salt, and then this molten salt, we just use the same system. We're going to use this molten salt to heat a bit of water, find a way to use it to turn a turbine, the same thing. So literally, what nuclear engineers do is just to boil water.
Yeah. Damn. So that's all you're doing.
I told you it's going to be anticlimactic. We just boil water, dude, man.
Yeah.
I know it's not...
But you got to control it still. I mean, there's a lot more going on.
Yes, and we boil water in different ways.
Yeah,
there are two technologies with these water cooled reactors.
Yes.
So there's the normal one, the conventional one, where we're not necessarily boiling it.
Yeah,
we're just heating it up. There's a temperature gradient, but then we have another loop where we're now generating the steam. We don't want to use water to turn our turbine.
Yes,
because it's elevated, and then we have droplets. We're gonna our turbine. We're gonna impinge on the, those turbines blades are very tiny.
Yes.
Yeah. So we don't want water there. So you have this technology where you have multiple loops. So this very first loop where the fission is happening, it's very radioactive, because you have fission products there.
Yes.
But this second loop is not radioactive. The one that's gonna be interacting with the turbine.
With the turbines, yes.
It's not gonna be. But then there are these other technologies like the ones in Fukushima, those boiling water reactors, where boiling is actually happening there in the Nini. And then we have steam dryers.
Yes.
I just mentioned that we don't really want to drop
Yes, on the turbines,
on our turbine blades. So boiling water reactors, there's boiling that happens in that reactor pressure vessel. But for these conventional nuclear reactors, like the one we're gonna probably have in Siaya, that's not gonna happen. We're gonna have multiple loops. So this loop can be radioactive, and the temperature gradient can be 40 degrees. People normally think that the temperature gradient is between the inlet where this primary loop, the inlet of where from the bottom of the reactor where the water is coming in, just to take advantage of natural circulation. You don't want to put a pump. The gradient between upper where the water is coming and where the heated water is uko juu. People think it's like 100. No, it's not 100 degrees. It's just 40 degrees.
Yes.
It's just 40 degrees. We do that because this reactor pressure vessel is a material and we're human beings.
Yes.
And we engineer stuff based on things that are fixed.
Yes.
We can't have a gradient. In these coal plants, you normally see even gradients of 100. Right? Because the only thing you have to worry about is temperature.
Yes.
But then upper qua reactor, we have to worry about radiation. Radiation damage.
There's much more to worry about.
Exactly. So we're gonna delta T becomes a lot lower than we need to. So that's the situation with these nuclear reactors. But you have to remember, just as I mentioned, there's so many other coolants in this primary loop.
Yes.
So many. There's lead. Just mentioned lead. There's helium.
Yes.
The guys who use helium, which to me, is counter
productive.
Not counterproductive, counterintuitive. Because helium is clearly a gas.
Yes.
Meaning that if we were having 1 million electron volts from this, for water, we needed this big amount to be able to evacuate 1 million. And now we have a gas.
Then you need way more.
Man.
Yeah.
And it's going to be pressurized. And I just told you, I don't like pressure. Like literally, I don't like pressure.
So why is it that you need to locate, in my observation, most nuclear power plants are located near large water bodies. Do you need these large water bodies for cooling, or do you need it for the water, for, the superheating, so for heating the water to turn the turbines?
That's the thing. So the water that you're going to have in, let me take one technology, the one that has two loops, which is the boiling water reactors, similar to the one that was in Fukushima of all places. I'm supposed to use Fukushima as an example because of
whatever happened.
So these two loops that were in Fukushima, the boiling loop, the primary loop, call it primary loop, and the secondary loop, at no point are these two water loops gonna end up in the ocean. There's another loop.
Yes.
And this other loop, the only thing it does is, I think where you've done those Nini diagrams, those TS diagrams, where you must close the loop. You must just close the loop for the sake of it. You can't have it for thermodynamic efficiency purposes. You're not going to have an open loop. Right? We can't boil water and then discard it into the Nini because we're going to get a new one. It's not economic. It's not economic. So this other loop that you normally hear from that's gonna come from ambience. It's usually just to close the thermodynamic loop. And if you want to know just how, not even arbitrary, how, I don't want to use the word useless, man, because it's not useless. If you want to know just how significant but not insignificant it is, you look at the gradient between where we have the fission happening and this outlet. So we have an inlet here that's taking in water at ambient temperature. 25 degrees, more or less. And when it's coming out, what do you think is the Nini after it's taken out, or after it's completed this cycle? Remember, we have fusion happening on that other loop over there where we have 40 for this Nini reactors. The gradient is like 40. What do you think is the gradient between Nini and Ingia? And Toka, just random guess.
It will be a small one. I think 5.
If even 5 is too much. If we have 5, we're gonna shut it down. Quite a number of reactors in France shut down this previous summer because of that.
Because of the temperature difference.
It's literally negligible. That word has been used so much in engineering that we no longer give it the Nini, the veneration we should. It's usually just a couple of degrees, 1 or 2. And the reason why that is the case is we have a condenser. Part of this secondary loop, we have a condenser where there's part of it is at vacuum situation where any thermodynamic energy that the steam has gets originally dissipated because it's literally a vacuum.
Yeah.
It turns into water without dissipating any energy.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's dissipated by being taken up by the water that's coming out.
The water is coming out, but at the same time, so in order for, we have to look at, you remember that water diagram where there's a point where it's solid, there's a point where it's liquid, but you have these plateaus where there's latent energy.
Yes.
So this latent energy of, is it fusion or fission? Not fission, it's not fission. Latent heat of evaporation, ama nini? The opposite of it is
latent heat of solidification, whatever that is. The
that
solidification.
One.
Oh man, I forget the word.
That one.
Yes.
We don't want to.
Of solidification, because you're turning into a solid.
Solidification.
Yes.
It absorbs a lot of heat. Right? You absorb a lot of heat to be able to move from gaseous to liquid.
To liquid, yeah.
And that just like that, we've gotten rid of the heat.
I mean, latent of condensation.
Exactly. That's the one. I think we're becoming idiots as we bring all the condensation. Can you imagine? We're two of us here. And So it absorbs a lot of heat. So the only reason why we have this extra loop is just to finish that thermodynamic cycle. There's a literally negligible exchange of heat, and that heat is because our interfaces are built by humans like me who don't know condensation, who forget that it's a latent heat of condensation, right? So it doesn't have to be a large body of water. That heat sink that completes this thermodynamic cycle, it doesn't have to be a large body of water. In France, half of the reactors are on rivers. You've seen that those cooling towers, which are not unique to nuclear plants. Even coal plants have those cooling towers.
Yeah, you'll see them.
Yes. So, that white fog.
Yes, that comes out.
People normally think it's smoke. It's not smoke. It's
just
vapor.
water. Yeah.
It's water vapor. And even though you have these cooling towers up, you still need this tiny thing. So for our traditional reactors, like the one in South Africa, that Joab nuclear plant, instead of having these cooling towers, they just make sure that the gradient between the water that is coming in and the whatever is slightly higher than what would happen if they had this funnel, these cooling towers. And cooling towers are not unique to nuclear plants. In coal plants, they're there. So this sort of dissipation of this using a large heat sink to complete a thermodynamic cycle is not unique to nuclear. Yes. So people normally say, "Yo, kitu ni." If I okay, I've seen people who dive into the reactor in research reactors. Crazy people do that. But if you're to pass over that steam thing, there's literally no radiation.
Something else that I've seen is that, so for example, in Canada, we have, these nuclear power plants, some of them are modular power plants even coming up. And you find that where they're located, there's these sort of disagreements between the local people who live there, and mostly these are indigenous Canadians. And now you're talking about having this power plant in Siaya. And I'm wondering what sort of concessions or agreements have been going on between the community and, I don't know if it's going to be Kenyan in this case or,
it's a combination, a combination of NUPEA, because we're the guys who have been custodians of this thing for a while, man. It's almost a decade. So we're the guys who know this technology. Even though Kenyan are the owner-operator, the guys who are going to own and operate the plant, they still need us. Now, there's a lot of work to be done to transfer a lot of the talent from NUPEA to here. That's something that's happening. Very serious headache for me over the next couple of weeks because I have to be the one to do it. But it is what it is. So the contrast, I don't think it's a contrast, dude. I think it's a comparison. That's a very, very good comparison. The local communities in Canada, in the areas where all these technologies exist, and these guys who are coming from I don't know where to come put up a nuclear plant. You have communities there who the paradigm, I think first communities in it's like tens of thousands of years where there's a way they relate with the environment. If you're going to come with something new that is not exactly they're not used to, you have to find a way to explain it in a way that they understand. Same situation with us in Siaya. But in as much as there are parallels, there are also differences. The grievances for the guys in Siaya is very different from the grievances guys used to have in Kilifi. I think you've heard initially
wanted to do
first plant. Because in Kilifi, the main grievance is usually, the eastern coast of East Africa has been almost a turmoil over the years.
Yeah.
Probably the same breadth of this sort of fertile crescent in the Middle East.
Yeah.
You always have armies and invaders coming in, setting up their empires there, wakitoka, wakienda.
Yeah.
So if you have Wanabara, some random guy called Omondi, turning up to set up a nuclear upper, and the only thing they know about nuclear were nuclear bombs in Hiroshima, Nagasaki, of course they're going to oppose.
Yes.
You need to find a way to ground the benefits so that they are able to see. Now, the plans to still use Kilifi as a site for nuclear plants still remain.
Yeah.
The only thing that has happened is that we were able to package this benefit in language that was taken a lot faster.
Palatable by the people of the lake.
Than these people. If you look at the situation in this country in 150, 200 years, I'll be very surprised if in Kilifi and Kwale, also in Kwale, there's some sites that have been identified if we want to have nuclear plants there. Because the energy poverty is real, dude.
Yes.
Energy poverty is real.
You look at our continent, man, it's very dark. I mean, I've put up this photo, famous photo of the world at night, and you see literally Africa is very dark. I mean, part of why it's called the dark continent.
Yes.
And when I was looking at India, man, India is bright.
Guys are out there at night dancing, listening, whatever is in the middle of it. Guys here in Kenya would piga sherehe mbaya sana.
But of course, I'm also a fan of darkness because I light pollution is also a thing, you know. I want to be able to be in a place where it's completely dark at night and be able to sleep to darkness.
No, I'm gonna use a Ben.
Yeah.
You think darkness is your ally? You've only adopted it. I was born in it. Yeah.
So, is this Ben from Harry Potter?
No, that's Nani Ben. Ben in The Dark Knight.
Oh,
so you remember he was fighting Nani Batman, and then Batman tries nini hapo hivyo, switching off the lights.
Yeah.
And then Ben is like, you think darkness is your ally? And he trusted him in the dark. I was born in it, nurtured by it.
Yeah.
So energy poverty, it's just another thing. If you Google it, just another thing. I think you have to take time to really reflect to understand what that means. You have societies in this world that are consuming like 26,000 kilowatt hours per capita. So every person in a year, for example, or in a day or whatever, they going to consume that amount. I think the country that consumes the most has to be UAE, not UAE, Qatar.
Yeah.
Not sure if it's Qatar or which other country, Brunei.
One of the Middle East.
Yeah, these Gulf countries. And then you have Kenya, where the average is 290 kilowatt per capita.
Yeah.
Which is insane, dude.
Per year.
I can't remember exactly. I think it's per year. And you have a situation where the human beings on this planet were consuming more electricities than 1,000 Kenyans per moja.
Yeah.
And that is just another figure until you understand what that means exactly. There's a material dimension to this and a social dimension to this.
Yeah.
When you're consuming a fraction, a tenth, or a hundredth of what another person is consuming, there's a direct line you can put between that and the number of hours of light you have to study, for example.
Yeah.
It directly affects literacy. There's a way you can put an equal sign between that and what it takes to have access to clean drinking water. You've factored in child mortality in there.
Yeah.
You've factored in life expectancy there. You've factored in gender issues up. Because in a society like ours, the people, if there's no water, who's supposed to go get to the water? It's going to be the women.
Yeah.
Right?
They're going to be the ones who are going to be sent out, maybe the kids too.
If it's girls, that time, that 2 hours, that they're going to trek 10 kilometers to go get 20 liter of water, this time they could have been in class. So you're literally affecting literacy among girls.
Yeah.
A society that is malnourished is going to have developmental issues. You're going to have guys out there who have, one of the things I notice is I get very angry when I'm hungry.
Yeah.
So when I want to brighten my mood, I feel irritated by someone, and I will try to remember nilikula nini sangapi. Then I ask, kula ndo maana nimekasirika. Then I eat something and then we're sorted.
Yeah.
You have guys who are going to do domestic violence because they're going to consume 290 kilowatt hours per capita.
Yeah.
If you get rid of energy poverty, you solve society.
Yeah.
So that's the motivation. And now it becomes less of let's use nuclear to solve this and let's use anything that is available to solve it. So nuclear is just part of the mix. You've gone full circle. You remember when we were saying this watu wa NLIT, they bring in watu wa geothermal, watu wa solar, watu wa wind.
Yeah.
It becomes more of I'm a Kenyan. I convinced myself while I was in Korea that I'm an ambassador for this country, so let me study nuclear.
Yeah.
But then I've come back, and the issue is not nuclear. The issue is energy poverty.
Yes.
Nuclear is just another piece of the puzzle. If there's a way we can get 1,000 megawatts SAI from geothermal, let's do it.
Let's do it. Yeah.
It's wind.
Yeah.
We want to set it up somewhere to kill a couple of flamingos, even though I'm a pan-species communist.
Yeah.
Equality between species.
Yes.
We still have human beings. I can understand that kid crying over there because there's energy poverty. But this flock of birds
that's flying over here.
So I have to deal with this first before I deal with that.
Yeah.
That becomes the conversation. So we have to find a way to package it, package this conversation so that it fits the local community. I don't know how you guys do it in Canada. It has to be very customized because the situation is very different from us.
Yeah.
But it's a conversation that is not going to end.
Yeah.
Canada literally has a reactor named after it that can do reactor. There's a reactor called Can Do that is very notorious for nuclear weapon. If you want to build a nuclear weapon, I don't know if I can say this. It's a very notorious reactor.
Yeah.
Canada literally has a nuclear reactor named after it, Can Do reactor. And the only way they were able to have a society that can accept to have a reactor named after it is there's a way it was produced, it was presented to the Canadians. So PSCC, we need to find a way to come up with CIA, the CIA reactor that is, or Gor Mahia. We're talking about how we name people.
Things after
we can have a bit of
people after people.
I actually predict we might have a couple of nuclear Omondi or nuclear Ogato, right?
Yeah, in the future.
If we do a good job, then that's a very good... if in 30 years we have a nuclear Ogato,
yes,
who's the thick of things operating those reactors.
Yes. Nuclear Omondi. My name is Nuclear Omondi. My son is called...
My name is Nuclear Omondi. I'm a reactor operator at the CIA. Very happy. I'll be a very happy guy. Yeah.
Beautiful, man. Yesterday we were having a chat as we were planning this out, and I'm taking a different direction from here. But of course, beautiful discussion over here about nuclear energy, man. And I love the way you've explained, of course, using the models over here and the water.
Cheers.
We're talking about Christopher Nolan, his movie. You went to watch it yesterday, I think.
Yeah.
I've watched it, man, and I thought it was a masterpiece. So we're talking about the Odyssey for the folks who don't know. Of course, the story of Odysseus on his 10-year journey back home to Ithaca.
Yeah.
Back to Ithaca. So you say that he did a horrible job.
I don't know what's happening with Nolan. I got so much from compared to someone, say for example, you walk in to watch it, but you're blindfolded and you leave. If you ask me, you're going to know what the movie was all about. And that's an indicator of a bad movie. A proper movie does not rely on... I won't lie. I appreciated the
Cast.
Jump scares, hated the blood when they were slaughtering those goats to feed to those Hades. We're spoiling that movie, we're spoiling it.
I think maybe, we can take it on a tangent. The guy... used a lot of narration, or in the dialogue, you could tell what was going on in the movie. And I think my explanation for that is there's been a tendency nowadays in Hollywood to have movies be explained in the dialogue. And I think the reason, what I understood recently, is that the directors or the studios have instructed the writers to do this explicitly because people have lost the attention span in people nowadays is very tiny. You find people on their devices while they're watching the movie. Of course, the movie is in the studios right now, but eventually it's going to end up on the streaming services. And once that ends up in the streaming services, someone's going to be watching a movie while they are playing a game or texting or whatever. And so they want the movie to still be interesting enough for someone to catch on even if they didn't watch the portion.
Yes.
And so I would give him that for doing that bit.
Okay. The thing is, this one I have to mention because there was I actually encountered it now also in this movie, Odyssey, but there's another science fiction tale where it's mentioned, this Kawalpol.
Yeah.
And this science fiction tale where this is mentioned, it's an actual thing,
That happens.
Somewhere there in Scandinavia, there's a whirlpool in the middle of somewhere, and it's a parallel to black holes. You see the black holes, once you move past the social radius, you can't move.
You can't get out. Yeah.
That whirlpool. Same thing. So I found it very interesting because, when I was reading the science fiction movie, in as much as it is one of the science fiction books that is, it's so real that you think it's actually, there's an interstellar invasion or there's like monsters coming to you from up. It's that well done. So, but then it's so well done that you can't tell what is science fiction and what isn't. So me had assumed like some part of the sea somewhere out there that there's a whirlpool, and it's a parallel to other stuff that happens in that book, that it was a science fiction. This guy has come up with it, and then I see it there, and then I'm like, what? And then I look, I Google right there in the theater. I was one of those people.
You're one of those people who we've got to struggle with your light, man, coming from your phone, and yet we are trying to watch the movie, and then you see the stray light coming.
You know, it was in IMAX, the one in Gateway Mall, Chini, where it's like the only one that's 90 ml.
Okay,
so it was proper.
And
it was very nice actually. But I had to look because I was like, really? A whirlpool in the middle of this. It's not a coincidence that it's Harper, because this other tale, it was a Chinese tale. It is a Chinese tale of science fiction, the very first one to be translated into English and win Hugo Award. So I was like, come on, surely it has to be something that is actually there. And then I Googled and I found it's actually there. It's there in Norway somewhere.
But I mean, we got to agree to disagree here. I mean, in my opinion, I think it's a masterpiece. I mean, but I do agree.
I'm aware you are a groupie one, Nolan. The guys who are like...
I mean, it's possible.
Like, I understand... Okay, Nolan, I don't know if it's, but there's so many things. If you need a budget to come up with a movie, if the only way you're going to come up with it is to, I don't want to use the word dumb it down, make it accessible to as many people. But at the same time, you remember the discussion we were having? You don't want to keep this thing. If you're able to present it in a way many people can enjoy it, then me, I'm just an any victim. Maybe I'm not just one of these people, but maybe people enjoy it. So that's a good thing. Society gets to enjoy a movie. Agar gets to be autistic.
You seem to have a problem with I mean, I haven't seen the show yet, but I get to know that you are a great Harry Potter fan.
Mbaya sana. Like, literally for how many years of my life was Harry Potter? Since I read that very first book in 1999. Can you imagine?
When it literally came out probably around the same time.
It came out in 1997, the very first book. Now, if you want to know how crazy that thing was I encountered a book. I remember actually even the girl who had it. It was a bit frayed. I grew up in Kibra. I was in that Olympic primary school in Kibra. Now, I remember the girl who came with that book. Even the cover, it didn't have a cover. It started at page 27, and then ilikuwa inaisha Harry Potter, that place where Quirrell takes off the turban.
So you don't know this. You don't know the story.
So I don't
after
know what's
that.
after that.
So
me I remember reading this thing. Na okay, kitabu nimeisoma. So huku ndani ni sawa sawa. Because you're 9 years old. It's only now that I realize nilisoma kitabu vizuri. So I read it, nikaisoma kabisa, nikamaliza, ikakontrol back on my what a weird tale. I was 9 years old back then. The very next year, I remember back in the day when during news, you would have this sort of intersection in between where things are advertised. And I see this advertisement where there's a train in Ajita Hogwarts Express and there's a kid with a lightning scar. And I was like, that's Harry Potter. That's Harry Potter. I've read this book.
Where is this? What is that advert for?
It was for the movie. The movie came out, the very first book, the very first movie. So they were calling it Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone.
Well, it was called the Philosopher's Stone.
They were trying to pander to the American audience. Me, I was like, that's Harry Potter. That's Harry Potter. I've read this book. And then my mom was like, Mom, nimesoma hii kitabu. And I remember even the girl who had the book, her name was Munira Mohammed. One of these Nubians in Nini. Wait, hiyo kitabu iko wapi? And she didn't have it. The place I got the full book and the entire series was in Kenya National Library Services community. Where membership was 20 bob. You pay 20 bob and you have access to everything. Akina Famous 5, Akina Secret 7. Remember those pesetas?
All those books.
They were there. And I get there and the entire series up until Goblet of Fire is there. I've never been more happy in my life.
It must have been like a killing for you.
I was like 10 and...
You couldn't go home with the book though?
Dude.
You have to study, read in the library.
No, but like back then you could get it.
Okay, you could borrow it.
It was crazy, dude. Because you pay 20 bob and then they allow you 2 weeks.
Okay.
I finished Chamber of Secrets and Prison of Azkaban in a week. I read both of them. The crazy thing about Harry Potter, you've triggered my autism. Now I have to tell you everything.
You gotta tell me.
So the crazy thing about Harry Potter is I read Sorcerer's Stone, Chamber of Secrets, Prison of Azkaban,
Okay.
and then I didn't read Goblet of Fire.
Okay.
I read Order of the Phoenix.
Order of the Phoenix next.
And
Yeah.
it spoiled kila kitu.
Yeah. You could tell
when I was
now,
reading-
Goblet of Fire, you could see.
I more or less, when I was reading Goblet of Fire, I knew Voldemort
Yeah.
was going to resurrect
Yeah.
in that car series. So it wasn't in as much as it was terrifying when I read it.
Yeah.
The way it's a very short chapter.
Yeah.
It's that chapter, Bloodborne and blood, something like that. Bloodborne.
Man, you even remember the chapters, man. Damn.
Yeah, it was Bloodborne and Dust, right? So it was Dust from Nani's grave, Tom Riddle Sr.'s grave.
Yeah.
It was Blood from Harry, and then Bone, Peter Pettigrew's hand.
Yes.
Yeah. And it was like just 2 pages.
Yeah.
Because me, okay, I knew Voldemort was gonna come resurrect because I'd already read the Goblet of Fire, not Goblet of Fire, Order of the Phoenix. But I didn't know where he was gonna resurrect. I didn't know. It was, like when they took that portkey to the graveyard, I was like, what the hell? I didn't know that was gonna happen.
Yeah.
So Harry Potter, up until when I was 18, I was the Harry Potter guy, man.
Yeah.
I was the Harry Potter person. I can definitely say, and someone come and fight me, I'm willing to fight for this. I was the first person in East Africa to read Deathly Hallows.
Okay.
The one thing about my mom, she had the option. I got Deathly Hallows came out in June. Not June, around May, if I'm not wrong. June or May, I can't remember exactly.
2007?
2007, exactly.
Yes.
2007. And
I read it during KCSE of 2007.
who wonder who fail.
Man, I was too held. I was also
Harry
equally
Potter-
held.
Potterhead.
Yeah, but I read all the books in my final year of high school. Though.
Really?
Yeah.
So you didn't grow with it? So
I didn't grow with it.
When Luna and Nani were having a kiss, alafu najua mimi, it ended up defining my love life. It's only
Okay.
recently after some Korean told me I'm not a reporter that I discarded it. Nikachana na mambo. Because you know what? There's a parallel actually hapo.
Yeah.
Harry's first kiss was with Cho Chang.
Okay.
You know,
I
Cho
don't
Chang was
remember.
Asian.
I don't remember.
Cho Chang was Asian. And then it's an Asian who broke my heart, Mazi.
Oh,
He
man.
turned me into a villain.
I'm
I
sorry.
literally structured my life.
Yeah.
And then there's a bit of character development coming up because
Yeah.
Harry ended up dating
Ginny?
Weasley.
Yeah.
So pia mimi, I was looking at my best friends.
Yes.
Nani hapa anaweza kuwa potential, and I identified one and tried to
Did she have
orchestrate
red
it.
there?
And yeah, she was a. Hey, if I give you details, what was Nani? Because it's the worst character development ever.
Okay.
So mimi, I decided to invest my time in that. Hey, we are mimi hapa hivi kwa marafiki zangu hapa. There's that one who's very fine and my
Yes.
type, and a Harry Potter one. It has to be her.
Yeah.
No, it's not the one. And so, yeah. So your combination of the Korean telling me I'm not an Indian and then not ending up with my version of Ginny Weasley
Yeah.
traumatized me mbaya sana.
Yeah.
But this Deathly Hallows came out, and a week later I had it.
Yeah.
And it was happening at a time in my life when it should have been a very difficult time in my life because the new prefects had been chosen in high school, and me guys had vendettas against me mbaya sana.
Why?
Because I was a rugby guy and I used to bully my classmates. Maze. So guys had vendettas.
Yeah.
Guys, even I meet them sahi, and they remember that stuff, and I have to apologize to all of them every time because I traumatized the couple. And they always tell me, hey, ulinifanyia hivi. So guys had vendettas to chase me around because I ended up not being a prefect.
Yeah.
Ended up being a captain or a rugby captain, but that was later. That week, prefects wamekuwa named.
Yeah.
Guys have vendettas and they're going to come look for me. My mom had the option of waiting until I go home for vacation to give me the Harry Potter.
She sent it to you?
Literally had my cousins at Bloomsbury in London camp for almost 2 weeks, man, to get
the
copy
book.
and then send
Fly
it
it
to her.
over.
And she could have just waited 1 week. I go home and find it there.
Yeah.
She still sent it to me. You know, Mimi, I didn't katiana around, so it was impossible. Okay, it happened like once or twice for me to be called, when you go pick a parcel from the deputy's office.
Yes.
And there's an evening assembly. The following people go pick a parcel from the deputy's office. You know, Mimi
Wala
was
soma barua nini.
yeah. Me, I thought it was a trap.
Yes.
Because we had a deputy who was a sadist.
Yeah.
He was a sadist. His name was Badman. We used to call him Badman. He was always flossing the way he's rich. Badman. Ule wa Lil Wayne. Yeah. So me, I thought Badman was being trying to trap me.
Oh, so bad. I thought it was like Mbaya man. Like,
It's
so
Badman.
Ndege
That
man.
guy okay, he was a villain still.
Yes.
He was a villain. But the bad was like flexing, Mazi.
Yes.
You know me, this time I'm talking to you here. That's the assembly. I could be making millions. You see me, I'm very rich. I killed my brother.
Really?
That guy. Let's take a tangent up because there's a funny tale there. When we're in Form 4, not Form 4, Form 3,
Yeah.
one of our rugby coaches left. Now, I'd more or less established myself as the guy in that team, so rugby. Now, when this guy left, to be totally honest, it hurt me kiasi because he was like a father figure. So there's a time, Mimi and another person, we were not going for assembly. We're just in the dormitory, just chilling. And then Badman walked in.
Yeah.
He caught us there. So it's a crisis.
Yeah.
We can't escape. So Badman takes us to his office. This guy beat up this other guy, mbaya sana.
Yeah.
His name was Ingabo. I even remember the name Bado. Mbaya sana. Alipiga mse mbaya sana. Why were you not in the assembly?
Yeah.
Then chased him away. So me, I was bracing for this guy to beat me up.
But he
mbaya
didn't.
sana. But he didn't.
Yeah.
He sat down with me. Kaniambia vile, Agar, I know it's very tough because Nani left. He was like a father to you. I can be your father, Agar, but I can also be a warrior. You want me to be a warrior, Agar? I killed my brother, Agar. I can also be a warrior, but I can be your father. You want me to be a warrior? No, just come to me. Like, angenipiga tu aniache instead of traumatizing me like that.
Yeah.
That's how Badman was, yeah.
Damn.
So me, I was called, go to Badman's office. There's a
parcel
package for you. And
yeah.
me, I was like, whoosh. So,
so you get there, man, and there's nicely packaged.
There's like a packet up that's big. That's clearly there's a package up and down.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, what is it up and down?
Yeah.
I take it, go back to the dorm, open it up.
Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows.
Potter and the Deathly Hallows. Hard copy cover.
Yeah.
That black version,
Yeah.
where there's that pendant from the Slytherin one.
Yeah.
One of the Horcruxes. I can't remember a day I've been happy in my life, dude.
What house were you?
I was in a Madi. It's called a Madi house.
No, like in Harry Potter.
In Harry Potter.
What house would you be?
Definitely not Gryffindor, because I've realized that, you know, that flight versus flight. I'm a flight guy.
Yeah.
Mbaya sana.
Ravenclaw?
No, I'm not bright enough to be in Ravenclaw.
Okay.
I'm a villain. Am I a villain?
So Slytherin?
You know, Slytherin is no longer villainous, dude. Sinani, Albus Severus Harry's
of course,
son.
in Harry Potter and the Cursed Child.
And Nani was also in Slytherin, Sirius Black.
Oh.
Right? Sirius Black was in Nini. See, the Black family,
Oh,
he was in Nini and he was
yeah.
chill with the kid
Yeah,
Nani.
yeah. So recently, I turned to Slytherin. I was at Gryffindor.
Bona Slytherin?
No, after watching the play, I watched the play, Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. And after learning that Severus was in Slytherin, I was like, man, these guys are no longer bad. When my wife took a photo with Gryffindor's backdrop outside the cinema, not the cinema, but the theater, I stood in Slytherin.
Slytherin side?
Yeah.
Tell me a more admirable character in Harry Potter than Severus Snape, dude.
That was a nice guy, man.
That was a nice guy. And he went through all of that.
Including the...
Quiet, just silent about it, dude.
Yeah, including the you know, the bullying by the terrible three, whatever they were called.
Like this Animagi, Peter Pettigrew, Sirius Black, Lupin and James Potter.
Yeah.
We actually talked about this with Sarge in one of the pods.
Yeah, I heard that. About whatever is coming out. Yeah, and the guy is black.
Yeah. Papa I said, like, you know, Cheche. I don't know if you've gone to Cheche bookshop.
No, I haven't.
Lavington.
No, I haven't.
There's a guy there, Ndegwa. I'm always arguing with him about this because, you know, he's a woke Gen Z who's like, it doesn't make a difference who plays who. He's one of those people.
Yeah.
Now, I understand because Papa said he's an excellent actor.
Yeah.
He's a good actor I've seen in other places. Just changes the story, dude.
Yeah.
Just changes. It's unnecessary pandering. I understand that J.K. Rowling, that there's a time guys wanted to cancel her for a reason or the other because she was turning into a bit of a tough, right? But why are you changing Harry Potter, dude? Why are you bringing racial undertones to Harry Potter? Right? Just let it the way it was.
Let it be the way it was, eh?
Yeah, like... okay, I don't know. It's still something important. And I have nephews and nieces who, as soon as they know how to walk, they're going to choose which house they're in. And I'm going to watch it with them. Yeah. But I'm really sad that has to be something I have to discuss with them. Because it's been part of my life for how long, Sasa, that racial thing.
When does it come out? This year?
December 25th.
Oh,
we're going to have watch parties every week about it.
Yeah, me, I can't do the weekly thing, man. I have to wait for the whole thing to come out. I have to wait for the whole thing to come out.
Really?
Yeah, I can't watch it for this week, like watch an hour this week, and then wait for a whole week for man. I'm too impatient to do that.
Come on, man. Like how?
So I'm gonna wait for the entire season to come out and then watch the entire season.
Guys are gonna okay, it's Harry Potter, so they can't. Okay, I was about to say guys are gonna. You know, when Nini was coming out, this Song of Ice and Fire after season 4,
yeah,
it becomes such a different story that you do not go online before you watch it.
Yes.
If you go online before you watch it, dude, it's
terrible.
spoiled.
Yeah.
But Harry Potter, you know what it's gonna end up looking like, and the fact that it's a remake, they have to throw sideboards up with curveballs inside.
Yeah.
On top of the racism, it's gonna be different, man. I really
But,
don't like it.
but you know what I think? I don't think it's gonna make a difference, and here's my reason. So you know, I listened to a lot of the noise that was going on about the Odyssey, especially that Lupita was gonna be Helen of Troy.
Yes.
And so I joined the bandwagon to hate on the film before I watched it. You know, Helen of Troy is gonna be female and it's gonna be black and all that. But
it didn't make a difference.
It didn't make a difference for me.
It did not make a difference at all.
And so I'm feeling like in this case, Harry Potter may actually also be a similar case.
Yes.
That's what I'm feeling.
Yeah. And another thing is, it creates anytime there's a movie like this and people have very strong emotions about it, that's excellent for it. And just whatever it is we were talking last time, the idea is not to close off. If it's a story that it gave me a lot of joy in my teen years. Like how you were talking about people who, when people are studying, the people who learn by looking, the people who learn. Me, I was reading Harry Potter. So it was such an integral part of my life when I was growing up, when I was a teenager. If whatever form they're gonna have it's gonna play the same role it played in someone else, then I have to appreciate it, dude.
Yeah.
I have these I just said nephews and nieces. If I'm gonna have them plug into Harry Potter, they're gonna present it in a way that is fresh enough for them to plug into it. And because we live in a very different world from where we were. And that race aspect is an important one. If there's a way that the producers are gonna sneak in that issue and my nephews and nieces are going to be able to come up with lessons about that, have to appreciate it.
Yeah.
We don't gatekeep. How can we gatekeep Harry Potter, man?
True, man.
We can't gatekeep Harry Potter.
Damn, this has been a beautiful discussion, man. I've enjoyed every second of it, man.
Cheers, Mazi.
In the tradition of this pod, man, we have this thing that we do over here that we borrow from the US presidency as we're landing this plane. In the US presidency, when the guy in office normally leaves the office, he normally leaves a letter to the next guy who's coming into office. And so in this pod, we have this tradition where the guest who was here most recently leaves a note for the guy who's coming in. The note can be in the form of a question, it can be just a note to read. And so the guy who was here most recently left a note for you, and I'm going to read it to you now. So your note is, your why, forget it not. Your why.
That's
forget it not.
I don't think I know my why, dude. I don't think I know my why. I thought I did, but I don't.
I think it happens all the time, man. Many times you ask people, what is your why for doing this? I think Kwambox asked me, why did you start a podcast? The answer that I gave her was totally different from the answer that I gave a different dude a year ago. And I think now that I think about the question Kwambox asked me, I think I'm going to text her after this at some point to tell her about this. I realized that my why is actually different for starting this. And maybe the why keeps changing.
It keeps changing. And you don't really want to, be specifically, because it keeps changing, you don't really want to immortalize it.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, how many times have you been forced to... It's a more or less similar conversation I was having with Sarge a while back.
Yeah.
I was talking about costumes, dude.
Yeah.
I've been putting on costumes as long as I can remember. And every other time, I have to remove them at the snap of a finger.
Yeah.
I used to think that rugby was my thing. Not interested, can't bother to watch a rugby match.
Yeah.
I used to think that the original Harry Potter was my thing. And just here having a conversation with you, I've realized that the original Harry Potter is not a thing, right?
Yeah.
So it keeps on changing all the time. And I think maybe just to accept that I'm just another dude out here and a certain set of circumstances have put me in the position where I am. And I just try to make the most out of it for myself and the people around me.
Yeah.
Hopefully that people around me can involve as many people as possible. But just making peace with the fact that there doesn't need to be a why to sleep at night, have a good night's sleep, or just to be at peace and to be a good person. And now that you're mentioning it, there's a resolution I made when I decided to come back after spending so many years. Because, in between Korea and going to Europe.
Yeah.
I had like a year here where I got to experience what it means to come back without a plan, dude. It's rough landing as much as possible.
Yeah.
It was more or less similar. I could foresee when I was coming back because I'd specialized even more as a nuclear engineer.
Yeah.
It was going to be very rough before I caught the eyes of people who knew what my value was.
Yeah.
Now, I decided to optimize my life to take that into account. It's going to be rough, but at the same time, I'd made a resolution to be a good person.
Yeah.
Just be a good person. Don't be arrogant. Don't be those nasty stuff that I left when I was a teenager. And the reason why that was the case is we were elderly dudes, man. We're now dads. My friends are dads, and we have guys or husbands and whatever. And that's the type of person Agar was to turn up. We can turn up. The Agar wants to go, I don't know, start a fight in a drinking den somewhere. So my why around that time wasn't very definitive, but I sort of engineered what I thought was a environment where my why would emerge. But the challenge that emerged immediately was my resolution to be a good person and to be calm and collected and just be send out good vibes into the universe and expect good vibes back. It doesn't work like that. You have to send out and not expect anything back.
Yeah.
So when you get nastiness coming back, and you remember this period where you're giving yourself flexibility, it's extending. You thought it was going to be a year. It's not going to be a year.
Yeah.
It's going to be 2 years. And in between, your resolve is being challenged, not by strangers, but the people around you who remember certain Agar and don't want this other guy who wants to be humble, who wants to keep a low profile.
Yeah.
So now you're in a position where you made a resolution to be a good person, but the universe is sending you nasty vibes.
Yeah.
So there's an impulse and there's a justification to be a nasty guy. But you still have to insist to be the good guy because you've been taking off costumes. Being a good guy, is that really a costume you want to take off, dude? It's not.
Probably
so you have to endure. I think it has to be a good night's sleep, dude. I think that's what it has distilled into.
Yeah.
My why is a good night's sleep where those 5 seconds before I sleep,
before you lose it,
I recall the day and I can say I was a good person.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my why, I think. I'm never going to forget it now that I've immortalized it. Yeah.
Beautiful, man.
Yeah, man. Cheers. Do I also get to leave something
of course,
that's on
man.
the side?
Of course. Right now, you get to leave it right now. I realize that when I leave it for later, I forget.
You forget.
Yes. You can, of course, you know how to use the pen. Funny thing is, I don't see the note or the question until I'm just about to read it. So, take your time, write it down. You're going to look away. When you're done, you're just going to scroll that way.
I'm literally gonna. There's a page I normally follow.
Yes.
There's this guy who's like 40 and his mom passed away a while back. That's usually, milestone. I don't know to call it a milestone, but it's something in the life of a dude. Your mom passing away, it's like there's a before and after.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this guy used to, just to give you a bit of a background, and you can tell whoever it is going to come next. This guy, his Instagram is about things his mom told him before she died. And there's this one part where saying the way the mom called, and the mom started making like bad noises.
Yes.
And then he made bad noises, and the mom hung up.
Yeah.
And he hung up. That's the sort of relationship. How awesome is that?
Yeah.
How awesome is that relationship with your mom, where you guys can be silly and stupid. So this is what. Let me write it.
Yeah, sure.
Selected it. Yeah.
Thanks a lot, man, Mr. Omondi Agar, for hanging out with me here, man. There's been a beautiful discussion. I enjoyed every second of it, man. And I hope that if you're sitting over there and you've been watching this and you've enjoyed it, man, and you haven't subscribed, man, come on. At this point, I think you just need to subscribe. If you're not subscribing, you are a hater. So please do.
Yeah.
Of course, there's been the Couch Connect. I've been hanging out with Omondi Agar. Omondi Agar is a nuclear physicist. Can I call you that? Nuclear engineer. Yeah. Nuclear engineer. And quite a smart dude. I mean, quite well versed in the arts and also in the, you say you're not a scientist, but man, you have quite a bit of an understanding of science, and I appreciate that, man. And of course, the fact that you can break it down to an audience like this that is quite diverse as well, and they can understand what you're saying, I think is awesome, man. And I want to wish your students all the best, man. If they are watching this, man, you guys have one of the most wonderful professors that you would never have, imagined.
Is it a professor or a lecturer?
One of the best lecturers ever, man.
Or discussers, because it's more discussions. And
one of the best discusser. That's what you're calling yourself?
Yeah, like lectures are so, We don't want to stay here for 4 hours, so it's okay.
Yeah, man. This has been the Couch Connect. Till next time, do take care. Kwaheri.
Kwaheri.
Yep.